All right. It is Sunday night, man. It is great to be here with you guys. We've been doing an excellent series on Is America the greatest country in the world? Is America the only greatest country in the world? We've been on a series on this over the past couple of weeks. We've discussed when it comes to how Americans treat their veterans. Well, that didn't prove that America is the greatest country in the world. Also, when it comes to medical, we looked at medical. We noticed that America is not the greatest country in the world when it comes to medical. America actually ranks out of 104 countries, number 69. We've also looked at other areas in which we realize that America, even though we brag about it, even though we say it, no one has actually tested it. So this past week, we've tested it. When it comes to racial equality and economic balance, America ranks 118th when it comes to racial equality and economic balance for all. In the book, The Sum of Us, when you guys get a chance, you want to get this book, because in the book, The Sum of Us, and it talks about, this book is about how racism hurts everybody. She starts off, Heather McGee starts off talking about how when it comes to Black people and other minorities, we figured that if we only had a fair chance, if the scales were even with whites and minorities, Black people and other people will advance. And to a certain extent, we have advanced over the last 40 years. We've gone from a small amount of money, which we had the power over when it comes to spending, to having a spending limit of $1.6 trillion per year, Black people, going into our bank accounts and to our wallets. And yet, with that level of equality, at least that level, we haven't done anything with it. The average Black family has 15 cents to every dollar put to the side and saved. That has nothing to do with race, guys. That has to do with the fact that we are going through FOMO, and we spend our money with the fear of missing out. In the book, The Sum of Us, she discovered when it came to whites have been trained to believe that if Blacks or other minorities ever got equal rights, then that would take something out of the pockets of white people. And as we've discovered over the last week, that's not true for white people. Even though Blacks and Hispanics and other races have moved up when it comes to having economic and political power, the only people that are causing Blacks and as well as whites especially to struggle are your politicians and corporations. Those plutocrats that control the politicians, as well as the corporations in which the plutocrats own, are what's causing you to struggle as a person of the Caucasian persuasion, not the minorities that have advanced over the last 40 years. So when you guys get a chance, get this book, The Sum of Us, because you get a chance to see the truth about how we are as Americans and how we've been fooled to believe that race or racial inequality was because of our next door neighbor, and it actually hasn't been. Today, we're going to talk about cost of living in the United States compared to everybody. We're going to talk about medical. We're going to talk about food. We're going to talk about credit card debt in the United States. We're going to talk about it all, baby, here on Love Crossing Borders. You might as well get ready to get your pen together. You might as well get a towel, because some of y'all are going to be crying because you said that America is the greatest country. You said that. We've been quoting that forever. America is the greatest country that was ever invented by God above. Thus far, this week, statistically, that does not hold to be true. America does not have the best Wi-Fi. America does not have the best racial equality. We do not have the best relationship when it comes to global politics. We do not have the best foods. Over 126 of our foods are illegal in other countries, including our pork, our poultry, our fish, and our beef are illegal to sell in other countries. We'll talk about the cost of living in America and why so many Americans have decided to leave America and why so many foreigners are surprised by what they've discovered in America. Let's get started. Shout out to you guys being here. Let's get some music going. Let's get some music going. Shout out to all you guys that are here this wonderful Sunday evening. Let me turn that down for us. Hope I'm looking good. Hope I haven't been freezing. Oh, yeah, that man looks good right there, ladies and gentlemen. That man looks good. All right, and then I'll get to the cologne of the evening after I get us some music going. But we already know we got to have some intro music going. There we go. There we go. Oh, yeah, make you feel good on a Sunday night. Even football season yet. Got about a month left before football season starts. For all you guys that are doing your fantasy football, hey, good luck to you. Hope you win this year. But as for the rest of us, we're just enjoying the soccer games. Colombia is doing excellent. They won again 5-0 against Panama. So shout out to Colombia moving up to the semifinals. And they're going against, I believe it's Paraguay that they're going against. Because Uruguay. They're going against Uruguay in the semifinals before they move up to the next finals of the Copa America. You know, a United States soccer team been knocked out a long time ago. So, yeah. But let's get ready to get these shout outs into you, gentlemen. Shout out for you guys being here. Shout out to my man Timothy in the building. Right out the gate. He said, make my funk the P-Funk. That's right. That's what I'm talking about. The Parliament Funkadelic boys, straight Ohio players. He said, I want to get funked up. Right on up. I want to funk you. Right on up. We're going to funk you. Right on up. We're going to funk you. Right on up. I said, get up, 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 get up. Sit back down. Right on up. Gonna funk you. Right on up. All right. Shout out to the brother being here this evening. Got me on hype already out the gate. Uh-oh, what did I do with the camera? Give me a second. I must have made a mistake and hit something. There we go. Give me a second. I got the second camera going. Now I need to get back to the first camera. I must have hit a wire. Knowing Andre, I did. There we go. Let me be careful tonight. All right. Gonna funk you right on up. Shout out to you, Timothy Bright. And my man Will in the building. Shout out to you with the $10. He said, good evening, everyone. Andre in chat. Like we always say on this channel, chat lives matter. So make sure you put in your 2 cents into whatever we speak on this evening. He says, smash the like button and support Black Male Media. Thank you guys for the super chats, the cash apps, all the donations that help keep this channel going. We really appreciate that. And a lot of times the donations that you guys give, you don't realize it goes towards other donations that take place. I give you a perfect example. I never mentioned this to you guys before, but quite often Tailor Made Dreams, and as you know, Tailor Made Dreams often gives donations to children around the world whenever he visits somewhere. Well, recently he's in South Africa. And since he's been in South Africa, he hit us up and say, Dre, I'm out here with these kids and I need to build some desks and I need to build some beds. And we want to get some food out here and some clothes for some of these kids in this orphanage. And so he reached out to people that he knew were givers, content creators that were givers. He purposely did this. So a lot of times the monies that you give on this channel goes towards donations that help children in all the places that he's gone to, from Cambodia to his 6 years of taking care of an orphanage in Dominican Republic to now recently he sent me the video of him taking care and supporting the children in South Africa. So don't just think that the proceeds just go into our pockets and that we just receive them. No, on contraire, my friends, we're one of those YouTube channels that pay it forward. We pay it forward. It's not just for us, but it's quite often for children around the world. And as you guys know, every winter we give away all our super chats. All of our super chats go directly towards the Children's Cancer Foundation here in Cali, Colombia. So shout out to you guys. My man Will of Thrill, like he always does, blessing somebody. Shout out to Will, blessing and gifting somebody with a membership. That means that Michael Emmanuel is now a family member of Love Crossing Borders. Welcome, Michael Emmanuel. Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you being here. Splash God is in the building, ladies and gentlemen, with the $5. He said, I hate it here, brother. Hate is a strong word. I love America, but yeah, I didn't like it there. Every day I wake up, and the closer we get to the Black Manosphere Conclave, make sure you guys sign up for the conclave. It's going to be on August 6th through the 8th in Houston, Texas. A lot of us will be speaking in regards to what steps you need to take to become either a passport bro as far as traveling or a person that's deciding to relocate. So Theo Wolf will be there in Houston, Texas on September 8th through the 6th. And if you guys could do me a favor, drop the link in the comment section for those that are interested in the Black Manosphere Conclave. I'll be there speaking, and Dennis Berlin will be there speaking. Quite a few of your favorite YouTubers will be there speaking and talking. In my case, I'll be talking about relocation and what steps you need to take. And yeah, I am dreading going back to the States as far as cost. Oh, I am not ready. I ain't gonna lie. I'm not ready to pay the price for an Uber. I can't lie. I'm not ready to pay those expensive prices that you guys pay for a regular everyday egg breakfast and just eggs, pancakes, and you're looking at $30. I'm not ready for that. I am not going to lie to you guys. I am not ready to pay $2 for a bottle of water. I'm not ready for it. I can't lie. I'm not ready to pay for a flight to go visit my sister in Cleveland from Houston. I'm not ready to pay for an expensive flight like that. It's not the economics that I'm not ready for. It's the fact that I know around the world it does not cost that much to eat, to sleep, and to travel in their home countries. That's what I'm not ready for. I'm not ready for the lie I gotta tell myself, okay? Let's be ready, guys. Let's be fair. I'm not ready to lie to myself when I know the truth is out there. I feel like I'm a person that just walked out of an episode of the X-Files. That's how I feel. So yeah, I feel you, brother. He said I make $80,000 a year. I was at $87,000, so I know that feeling. And I still wasn't happy. He said I'm trying to leave the matrix. If you could do a consultation, I'll book it. Trying to move to Colombia, brother. All you need to do is if you really are interested, all you need to do, and I know a lot of the brothers dropped the link also. Let me see if I have the link myself as well to share. All you gotta do is hit my email. Hit me in the email and we'll schedule the consultation. I just had a consultation the other day. There's one brother that I have left that I need to send him his video and his consultation information. I'm going to be doing that after the live stream. But yeah, guys, I am not ready to go back to the States. I wish I could. I'm sitting up here trying to, every morning I wake up trying to convince myself of and the think about it. The conclave is not until September. So why am I so, the Bible says be anxious for nothing, but in all things give thanks to the Lord. I know I shouldn't be anxious, but it's just the fact that I know as soon as I buy a breakfast and it's $25 and I come out of that $25 and I know that exact same breakfast is $2.48 in most countries, I'm not ready. I'm not ready. I'm not ready. I wasn't built for this. I wasn't built for the truth. But yeah, shoot me an email, brother. Shout out to you. You'll love it here in Colombia. I love it. Every day I wake up, I was just telling Victory, shout out to my man Victory. We were just talking on the phone. And I was just telling him how much I really appreciate my life here in South America. Every day I wake up, I feel like I'm in heaven. I really do, bro. I feel every day I wake up, I got a good companion on my side, like many of us men just want. Whether you marry that person or not, you just want a good, solid companion on your side. You want healthy food. The older that we get, we just want healthy foods. We want good company, good people that we meet as we walk out the door. We want to make money. We don't have to be multi-trillionaires, but make enough money to take care of our needs and the needs of the future. You know, our loved ones of the future. And that's basically it. Live out our years, traveling the world and enjoying what else is out there. And I feel privileged to be one of the few brothers, especially coming out of doing 10 years of federal prison, One of the few brothers that can actually say that I actually did it. I actually did it. And the next step will be next year, citizenship. 2 passports. You know, your boy gonna be having bragging rights. Once I got 2 passports, oh man, yeah. I'm gonna be like the nomad capitalist in this month. I'll be the black nomad capitalist. Shout out to that brother in his YouTube channel. All right. Yeah, so definitely reach out to me, Splash God. Shout out to you, brother. Thank you for being here. Discerning Dash is in the building. Dash says, he said, when people say the U.S. is the best country, it implies that it is number 1, true, in all categories, or at least in the top 10. We're not even the top 10 passports anymore. Nope. We used to be tied for number 9. We're not even in the top 10 passports in the world. He says passport ranking 42. Yep, I see. I didn't even notice you put that there. Yep, passport ranking 42. 69th in healthcare. This is true. This does not seem best based on statistics. This is true. Hashtag don't lie. People lie. Yeah. It's all propaganda, man. And we love the United States. Sometimes people, I think the farce is people think because you have a discussion about the United States that you don't like the United States or that you have to hate something. I'm going to let you guys know something. Me and Victory was talking, and I mentioned 2 things you're going to go through when you relocate to another country. You ready? You're going to go through major appreciation. You're going to be so happy with fresh foods. You're going to see the weight that you lose. You're going to notice how fresh the air is, all the new languages to learn, new people, new culture. You're going to be so appreciative of how friendly people are. Yes, there are criminals everywhere. Yes, there is crime everywhere, but you're going to be so happy of your experience. Every day you wake up, you're going to feel like this cannot be real. It can't be real. It's going to come to an end. They're going to make me go back to the States because of what you're experiencing right now in that new country. The number 2 thing you're going to experience is you're going to experience for years. I'm going to say this for real. Survivor's remorse. Survivor's remorse, the example that's quite often used is when somebody is the only survivor on a deserted island, and you were the only one that survived out of all the people that were on that island, or a plane crash and you were the sole survivor. That's survivor's remorse. We don't know why we go through it. Why was I the chosen one to survive? Why was I the only one? I was telling Victory that in the Bible, when Abraham was sent to the promised land, you notice that he never went back and got his dad and his dad's family and his cousins. Oh, that surprised a lot of y'all, huh? I didn't think about that. That's in the Bible, yeah. Chapter 12 of Genesis, chapter 11 of Genesis, God told Abraham's dad, Tamar, to go to the promised land. Leave your kinfolk, go to the promised land. It's going to be better than what you even experienced at home with your kinfolk. Can't be better. I got you, boy. I'm telling you, it's going to be better. God, it cannot be better. I love where I live. It's the perfect country. You can't tell me nothing. Okay, Tamar, all I need you to do is take Abraham, your wife, your cattle, your riches. Go, take Lot, your nephew, your grandson. Take him. Take your sons. Go. Just go. I'm going to show you something better. The Bible says in the end of chapter 11, he got halfway to where God had told him to go to. This Abraham's dad. It says there he settled. How many people we got in our family that settle for anything as long as it looks right in our government? You guys don't realize you're settling for Biden. Oh, yes, you are. That is not the best candidate. A lot of you guys don't realize you are settling and been programmed to settle for Trump. If you think a crazy racist old man is the best person out of 400 million people that you can find in the United States, it's not. You've been programmed to settle. Chapter 12 of Genesis, God tells Abraham, listen, your dad is a settler. I told him to go to a land that's better than the land which he was in. He didn't even go to where I asked him to go to. Abraham, I need you to do it. Like I said before, notice God never sent Abraham back to get his family. The family that was with him was the only family he had when he went into the promised land and became richer than rich, became the famous Abraham that was the father of Ishmael, who is the father of Islam, and Isaac, who is the descendant or father of Christianity and Judaism. Never told him to go back and get his family. Told him the family that you got, them the ones that's gonna make it. And you go through that survivor's remorse where you feel like, I want to go scoop up my whole family, my whole neighborhood, and bring them to this new country, new world with this new experience to where they don't have to be stressed out economically like they are at home. They don't have to go through that. And most of your family members, your loved ones, are not going to go anywhere. So in many cases, it's hard for us to keep our damn mouth shut. Hey, sexy boo. So it's hard. So you're going to go through appreciation and celebration, but you will go through a couple of years of some survivor's remorse. Expect it when you relocate to another country. Don't run back. Don't think that you're missing your family or, man, I'm having such a good life. Why can't my family come? Nobody wants to listen to me. I only had one family member that came to see me. Don't feel bad about any of that because it's going to happen. It's going to happen. It happens when you move to another state, doesn't it? Does all your family come and move when you move to another state? They don't. That's the same thing that's going to happen when you move to another country. Your family members and your loved ones, maybe one or two will visit over time, but most of your family members will stay exactly in where they are, and they will complain until the end of their days. Might as well be ready to accept that. Shout! Oh man, I didn't see victory right there. Shut up! I didn't see Vic right there. Oh, I keep messing up this cord. I keep hitting this cord somehow. I see I am hitting this cord somehow. Give me a second. Give me a second, guys. I keep hitting this cord. That's what I've been doing. Tonight's cologne is Imperium. Imperium. Imperium is a clone by the company Fragrance World. Fragrance World and Imperium. This is a very citrusy, very, very masculine, but very citrusy, grapefruit, oranges, lime, just excellent Imperium cologne. It is a clone of Roja's cologne, Elysium. Elysium is also called Creation E. Now, Creation E / Elysium is like $150, $250. Imperium, which is like one of the closest clones of it, it's only like $50-$60. And I'm telling you, this is easy in my top 10. Top 10 clones of all time. This is easy one of my favorite ones. If I had to get rid of many of my clones, this one would not be going anywhere. You can wear this one during the day. You can wear it during the night. It's an intimate cologne. So you can wear it during sex. You can wear it while you're sleeping. You can wear it in the club because it's strong enough to project in the club, but it's not overbearing. You can wear it at work with a suit on. You can wear it at a beach because of the citrus that's in Imperium. That's why I like it. It is a very well-rounded, very, like I said, you can smell the grapefruit right out the gate. You can smell that orange. You can smell the lime and all the other, I forget what the other ingredients that's off in here, but it's extremely masculine. There is nothing feminine about this cologne. You would not expect a woman to wear this particular cologne, whether it be Roja's Elysium or Imperium by Fragrance World. So that's the cologne of the night. Shout out to Victor, you surprised me. I didn't even notice you were there. She said, did the freak never misses a beat? Yeah. He said, boy, was it neat? Yeah. not just knee deep. She was totally deep. Yay, yay. When she did the freak with me. Oh, yeah. Shout out to all you Ohio dudes representing Parliament. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. My man Evans in the building. Shout out to you, Ev. In the building. He said, I've been to Rio twice. We're looking forward to going this year. That's our trip of the year. Part of our trip of the year is Rio. Yes, sir. He said, I would rather live in Brazil than the United States. Everything is better in Rio: culture, women, nightlife, food, etc. Give me motivation to it gives me motivation to permanently move to a Latin country in the future. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And that's how it starts. Your first trips give you motivation. I'll say that again. For you guys that think that your first trip should be relocation, no. Your first trip should not be relocation. Your first trips to these countries should be recon. You need to see what it is about these countries that gel with you. Because some of you guys, Rio is perfect. For other guys, Colombia is. For other guys, parts of Europe is. So you need to find out what country gels with you. So your first couple of trips are recon trips, not relocation trips. Don't just jump and relocate to a country you know nothing about that country, because you'll be mad and perturbed. But yeah, definitely shout out to Rio, man. We're looking forward to going. Brother from down under, shout out to you being in the building, man. I need to get a drop specifically for you, man. I need to get a drop for you too. So I got a couple places I need to get some drops for. He said, I visited South Africa. He said last year, November, fantastic trip. This donation is for the kids. My friends donate school lunch and food packages in Soweto school kids, and it is nice to give back. It really is, man. It really is. Where life has put you in a position to where you can give and not stress about it. It really is. So yeah, I'll make sure that the Tailor Made Dreams get this. I'm going to send this directly to Tailor Made Dreams tonight. Shout out to you, brethren, for the donation for the children. Yes, sir. My man, Black Nubians in the building once again. I do have a drop for those Canadian boys. I do have a drop for you guys.
I told this guy where I was from. He said, oh, Canada.
Shout out for you being here, right out the gate, brother. Appreciate you, man. No, he says nothing. He just shows the love for the game and my Detroit player. Oh, that's the wrong one. I hit the wrong one, but let's let the West Side boys. Shout out to you West Side guys. Before it's Detroit dudes.
You better back the fuck up out my face, goddammit. I'm from Detroit, Michigan. Don't play with me.
I don't know what I am hitting to call the cord to do that. I know I'm hitting a cord. I do know that much. I am hitting a cord and I don't know which one it is. Wait a minute. If I hit, okay, I'm just gonna be careful tonight, which is, yeah, I'm gonna be careful tonight. And then I'll just find out which cord it is that I need to adjust. Once that's why I'm glad I got two cameras, but find out which one I need to adjust. My man Don is in the building. Shout out to you. Shout out to Poor Man. Poor Man says, Andrea, chat. Shout out to you. Shout out to Don, aka the Don JP. He says, good evening, Andrea and Andrea. Good evening to all. All in the chat. Catch you on the replay. Shout out to the replay crew, always in the building. All you guys that watch it afterwards. We got 61 people in the building. Click that like button. I like you. Make sure that you like us too. My man Jay Anderson of the Anderson family. Jay Anderson, first of his name, the great. Salute to the chat. Andrea and Andrea, love crossing borders. Hope you reviewed the last video I sent. I got it. You guys have been sending me videos like crazy too. I have had a chance to check it out. So yeah, I'm going to be using that one. I'm glad that you sent it to me. Thanks, Jay. Black Empowerment 01 in the building. Shout out to you, brother, for being here. He say, on time this time. Shout out to you, brother. Glad that you made it here. Once again, Timothy says, Avengers assemble. Let us assemble, brothers. We're here tonight. We are here tonight, and we got JG Dating in the building. Blessings to you too. We got let me see if I pronounce your name correctly, brother. We got Hashim, I hope I pronounced you correct. Salute to you, Hashim, for being here tonight, my brother. Once again, I always see you in the chat showing support. And also, big brother in life, Dre, what good? He said, what's good, bro? Hey, we got a great topic tonight. Once again, we're going to be looking at and discussing cost of living. We're going to see cost of living comparisons, the United States versus everybody. We like I said, this week we've been trying to prove, is America the greatest country in the world? And like we say in human history, I have yet to see that proven. Statistically, we haven't seen it. Where? So America, we are excellent and we're great in many things, but to say that we're number one in everything, nah. The man Will of Thrill, shout out to you once again, brother. He says this quote. He says this is our quote for today. Will says he says it's going to be another great show. Quote: never let anyone's ignorance disturb your peace. Walk away. Absolutely correct. Walk away. Let it go. Man, he called me. I don't care what the dude called me, man. I live a better life than him. He should be talking like that. Sometimes we don't come to the reality. Hey, Will, they don't come to the reality that sometimes when your life is going good, somebody's life is going so miserable that you should be expecting that somebody's going to say something crazy. Walk away. Let it go. Don't trip on it. Even when the guys were talking about Andrea and I on Austin Holloman's show, we only discussed it not because of us. We discussed it because we wanted you guys to know that you are valuable, and don't let anybody tell you that only white guys can get women in certain countries. That is not true. Or only white guys get coochie because of race. When, like I said, many of us men who are black, we've been having sex with black women because of our race our whole lives. And many of us who are black have been having sex with white women that only deal with brothers our whole lives. You've been getting sex because of your race your whole life, brother. So for dudes to try to convince you or hate on white dudes because they get sex because of their race, I'm going to say this again like I said it before. My white brothers, keep on smashing them chicks. Keep on having as much sex as you can get if you want to. If you want to be a single white dude and you out there, you having fun, don't you let nobody that's black, brown, interrupt your flow. If these women are dumb enough to think that your blonde eyes and blue hair, your blue eyes and brown hair or blonde hair has superpowers, let them heifers think that, as long as they keep on spreading their legs. The only reason these dudes hating on you white boys, you know why? Because they wish they could do it too. And if they could do it like that, they be spreading them females' legs just as fast as you do anyway. So white boys, keep on hitting your stride, white brothers. I ain't no hater. Let the rest of them brothers hate on you, because just like you getting sex because of your race, we've been getting sex because of our race too. Don't let these brothers fool you. Don't let these Latin dudes fool you, Asian dudes fool you, white brothers. I'm talking to you. I'm building you up tonight, white brothers. I'm building you up tonight, because at the end of the day, if somebody gonna hate you because you are able to have sex because of your race and don't understand that, hey, they've been doing the same damn thing their whole lives. You white boys been standing around wishing that you can get you some black coochie on the level that brothers get it, but you can't. You just maybe get sex with maybe 1 or 2 black women in your life, maybe 3. Every once in a while, it's a white boy that was raised in the hood that's able to get all the sisters he can. But most white dudes will never get a chance to get some of them fat booties and them big breasts and them that chocolate skin of them sisters. Most white boys just be looking at it on TV and be like, damn, I wish my wife looked like that. I wish my wife looked like she had a tan like that. I wish my wife was light skinned like that with curly hair. I wish my wife had fat lips like that. I wish my girlfriend had a big booty like that with big thighs and little small ankles. I wish all white dudes get a chance for the most part to do is sit back and imagine and wish like they John Legend, like they John Lennon, just imagining shit. And all they could do is imagine being with a sister. And all you brothers been smashing these sexy sisters your whole life. Why? Because you're a good dude? Yeah, that's one of them. Because you got a few dollars? Yeah, that's another reason. But the main reason why sisters been giving you that coochie since you was 13 years old, brothers, because you was a black brother. That's the number one reason. So do not sit up here, white boys, and let these brothers try to make you feel bad because you've been able to get coochie because of race. Because they've been getting coochie their whole damn life because of race. Sit up there want to hate on white dudes. The hell y'all doing? That's the part that be getting me. Y'all should be focusing on other stuff, but y'all hating on white dudes because he getting the coochie. Well, when I walk up in the crowd, the girls don't talk to me. They talk to the white guy. Okay, when you walk up in the crowd of sisters, who do they talk to? They talk to your black hand. White dude just be standing there hoping one of them sisters will talk to him. But you don't want to talk about that part. Man, y'all funny. Y'all funny. Funny and phony. Been getting sex because of your race your whole life and you want to sit up there and cry. All you Latin dudes, you been getting sex your whole life because of your race too. You sit up there speaking Spanish, you got all that passion, and you know how to touch Latin women the right way that the rest of us don't know how to touch Latin women. We still sitting up here trying to learn how to kiss the right way, how Latin women like it, talk to them the right way. You know how to do everything. Why? Because of your dang race. And you want to sit up there and hate on brothers coming to Medellin who getting a few women that like them because of race? And you been getting coochie your whole life, Latin brother, in Medellin because of your race? It's women that are Colombian that only smash Colombian dudes because of your race. If you wasn't born Colombian, you wouldn't get the level of coochie you was getting in Colombia. And you want to hate on some white dudes? Man, y'all crazy with it. Crazy with it. Oh man, for Prophet said, he said, don't let the haters get you, Dre. It's all good. He said, it's all a part of the game. It really is. It's all a part of the game. It really is. Don't hate the player, hate the writer of the rules. Don't hate the player, hate the writer of the rules. For real. My brother said this before we get into the videos. He said, when veterans get VA disability, people look at them as if it is a charity when it's something that you've earned. That's so true. You guys have earned that. You have earned that. He said, I saw a homeless veteran go into Subway for food and they kicked him out. I went in and bought him food. It's so funny how we in America forget there would not be American if it was not America, if there were not for the veterans. Whether it be from the Civil War all the way back to the Revolutionary War. If it wasn't for veterans, men and women putting their lives on the line, wouldn't be no Subways to kick people out of. Sometimes Jesus said this. He said, the people are going to say one day to God, God, when was I ever wrong to you? God said, you did me wrong. God, when was I ever wrong to you? When I was in prison. God, when were you in prison? This in the Bible. When I was in prison, you didn't visit me. When I was a child, you never talked to me. When I was hungry, you never fed me. That was me. That child, that prisoner, that old person, that person that was in need, and you ain't do nothing for me, Subway worker. Subway worker, one paycheck away from being homeless, him damn self, and can't give a sandwich to a homeless person. All right, make that make sense. Shout out to my girl Jay in the building. Shout out to Jay, Miss Atlanta or something. I don't know what chord am I hitting. What chord am I bumping into? I need to change this. Let me move this here. There we go. What chord am I bumping into? Okay. Let's get ready to change the music because we're about to get started with the live stream. Okay, come on. Come on. Give me a second, guys. Maybe this is gonna help. Maybe this will help. Okay. Let me go here. Let's see if that's a little better. I adjusted some chords. Maybe that's gonna help. Thank you guys for your patience. All right. Shout out to my girl once again, Jay in the building. My man Dave is here as well. Shout out to you, Andre. He said, I'm doing recon through your advice. And that's another thing that I did. You dang right. I watched content creators that I knew were positive guys that were doing things. I was watching Passport in 2016, 2017. I was watching Passport Heavy Jabril. Shout out to that brother. You know, he's building a home in Belize. I was watching Ace Live. Ace with like 200 subscribers. And I was watching Tailor Made Dreams. And there was another brother that I was watching out of I forget the brother's name, man. And I was watching him out of Thailand, I believe. And he's still there. I still watch his videos. And those brothers kept me motivated to be able to accomplish the goal of relocating like I did. So even though I hadn't traveled, oh, and got to give a shout out to my man Richard's World. Because Richard was literally walking through neighborhoods without saying anything. Because I could go to Tailor Made Dreams and I could get advice, but he was in his living room. I could go to Ace Live, but he only showing me the party part. I can go to Jabril, but Jabril is like, well, hey, he was doing his like documentaries. I needed somebody that was just walking through regular neighborhoods throughout the world so I could see what neighborhoods look like. Houses, people, businesses. In Richard World, that's what he was doing. Shout out to Richard's World. He still does it. Just walks through the beach. He doesn't say anything on camera. Every once in a while he does. But I was so happy when he walked through Parque Lleras, Laureles, and all those other areas in Medellin, so I could see what apartment buildings look like, what people look like, the foliage, the neighborhoods, the streets. Nobody was doing it. And so shout out to those brothers. So yes, I was doing recon through YouTube channels. Yes, sir. And their content. He said, I'll be back in Rio this Christmas and New Year. Man, you're gonna have a good time. He said, I'm finally post in Medellin. He said, I'm post Medellin phase. I've got that out my system, like all of us. You know, all of us went through the Medellin phase. He said, honestly, I think Rio is way better than Medellin. He said, Rio is exotic. Plus, I believe it's larger and it's more diverse. So yeah, I can see that, definitely. My man Jay is in the building. Shout out to Jay. Jay says, oh man, come on, Dre. What is going on with that? I got to find out what chord is that I'm hitting. Let me see if I move it this way. Let's see if I move it that way. I won't be hitting. I know right now you can't see me now, guys. Give me a second. Give me a second. Let me see. So I moved that. Did I unplug? Okay, let me see. Give me a second. Okay. Okay, cool. Maybe that's better. Maybe I was bumping into the cord. And so now it's better. Let us see. He say, and Jay Post says this. He say, whenever I visit another country and get out of these tourist zones, good point. He say, I feel so at peace. Quality of life feels better to me. once you get out the tourist zones. Absolutely correct. That is so correct. Shout out to my man IQS in the building. Shout out to you being here, brother. I don't know what I'm hitting, but it is not making me a happy camper tonight. But shout out to you guys from the other camera. I haven't had a chance to use this camera in forever in a day. But even though I'm going to connect to the other camera in a split second, but it's just so much fun to look up at you guys. I haven't looked up here in a while. Now I need my glasses. Now I need my glasses to read on the other screen. Let me blow it up. There we go. He said, Dre, if it wasn't for your stream or a Ronin Fearless, shout out to Fearless and Ronin. Shout out to Ronin for real. On the 4th, no one would call me that for my services. It happened less than, he said, it happens less than you can imagine. Shout out to you, brother. I'm glad. I really am glad. I appreciate that. I appreciate that, man. Yeah. Shout out to IQS or TIQS, as many refer you. Let me scroll down just a little bit more. J, IQS, and Will. Will says this. Will says, let me blow that up. Let me just put my glasses on. He say, Andre, you and your wife are super classy. They are haters because they are miserable. Love your energy. Love you guys' energy as well. And the funny part is this is who we are in real life. That's the funny part. When you guys meet me, some guys are amazed, like, man, that Dre is down to earth and just regular Dre in real life. And I'm like, yeah, that's who I am. Just regular dude, just like the rest of us, man. Just like the rest of us. So I think I'm going to go ahead and get a better camera for this one. So I'll have two really good cameras from different angles. Because I kind of like having cameras from different angles. That's cool. But let's go back to the original camera. There we go. Welcome home. Welcome. You can see that quality. Crazy quality, right? All right. Shout out to you, brothers, for all the cash apps and super chats supporting the channel. Let's get ready to get started with the video. Once again, we're discussing today the cost of living in the United States versus everybody. And we're going to look at some stats. But first of all, we're going to start with some videos. Let me change the music. Switch that over. And there we go. Let's try this one. I haven't used this one in a while. Oh, I know that one. Now let's use a different one. Let's use a different one. Okay, yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Drop it down a little bit to about 9. Okay, so it's not too loud. Let's get started with the videos. First section we're going to look at is Americans showing the list of their cost of living. Let's put this up on the screen right now. Let's take a look at this. In America, if you are making on average a little under $5,000 a month, and it says that for rent, you're averaging about $1,600, depending on where you live, of course. Income is your income tax, just right out the gate. You're paying a little over $1,100. You're paying a little over $1,100. The funny part about this, you could take the rent or you could take just your income tax. Either one of them, you can actually live kind of comfortable in a lot of countries just off the amount of tax that you pay or the amount of rent that you pay. If you just combined the rent and the taxes, Because remember, once you leave the United States, you get a tax break. This up and coming year for 2025, our tax breaks is 126,000. That's an automatic tax break. That means all the way up to 100 and your first 126,000 of personal income, not your business income, but your personal income. That first $126,000 that person would make, that's tax free. I'll say that again. We just fill out an extra tax form. Expats fill out an extra tax form. Our taxes are not due until June 15th, not April 15th. We get an extra 2 months automatically. So with a tax break of let's say just say federal, because if you live in a state such as I do, Florida, I didn't have any state taxes when I left. Some of you Texas guys, you don't have any state taxes. So when you become an expat, it depends on what your state taxes are. You may have to still pay a little on state, but you may not have to. It depends on what your state taxes. But as far as federal taxes, for us next year, it's $116,000. I mean, $126,000 for the tax exemption. Let me see. Expat tax exemption 2025, $126,000. Let's see. Maybe I should have put $126,000. Expat tax exemption for 2025. Expat tax exemption for 2025, $126,000. Let me see if I can pull this up. Let's see if I could find this real quick for us. You know, I like always show the receipt. Oh, it says expert. I said expat. I said expat. Let me type this out. Sometimes your voice, it doesn't pick up on the voice correctly. There we go. There we go. I want to show it to you guys on the screen. And this article came out May 2024. So you guys are wondering like when this article came out. Okay, so it looks like it's taking its time to process, but I'll show it to you in a moment, guys. Shout out to you, Jay. Your car insurance, we know that it's a little higher than that for car insurance. Also, when it comes to your groceries, that's about right for many people. $550, if not $600 a month. And this is just for you. We're not even talking about if you have children or not. Electricity, on average, water, phone bill. For some people, it's higher than that. So some people phone bill like up to $300. Up to $300. Okay, I'm going to show you guys what I meant about our tax break. That once you become an expat, there's a form that you fill out with your 1040. I'm going to take you guys to the website. Because, you know, I'm going to share this video. I'm going to share the website with you guys. Okay, right here, the website that I have to use is 1040 Abroad. This is for expats. So right here, you just put your name in. For example, I just put Andre. Once I put the N. And then I put my email address. And I'll get a free guide. So this is what you guys will be able to get. You get your free guide. Make sure I press that. Okay. Right here. This is the foreign earned income tax exclusion. This is what we get. When I tell you guys that tax exemption, that's what it's actually called. The FEIE. Just in case you guys want to look it up. For 2024 tax increase, our tax break that we get as expats, because I don't live in the United States for up to 330 days of the year. What do I get for my tax season this year? That's coming up for 2020. Let me scroll back up. My bad, guys. For 2020, going into 2025. The FEIE for 2024, going into 25, is increased to $126,500, $126,500, aiding American citizens in managing their worldwide income more effectively. These are other tax breaks that we get as well. Now, look at the tax date. Remember I just said this? Watch this. Standard for most Americans filing U.S. residence is what? April 15th, right? Ours for expats, automatically 2 months extension. It was June 17th. It's like that every year. Every year. So when you guys are trying to get out the United States and you think that it's just cost of living benefits, a part of your cost of living benefit is that you're not going to be paying those levels of taxes anymore. That's why when you hear me say they statistically found out that 98% of expats don't pay federal taxes, because 98% of expats don't go over the threshold of, in this up and coming year, $126,000. Most expats don't make $126,000. Why? They don't even need $126,000, because in most countries that we're living in, if you're bringing in 30, 40, 50,000, you're living good. This doesn't include the 18% tax break that we get for housing. Let me go back here. I don't know why I keep making a mistake and unplug this. This doesn't include the tax break. We get an 18% tax break on top of the 126,000. So 18% of 126,000, we get a tax break for our electricity, the rent, the car insurance. Like I own a car, I get tax break on that. We get so many tax breaks that add up, that have to do with utilities. All this equipment in here, I get a tax break on this. All of it. I'm not talking about business tax break. I'm just talking about because I'm an expat. Regular, my personal income tax break. So when I say this, guys, just on the tax money that you save, if you got an online job, and you are making, let's say in this case, this scenario, $5,000 a month. Let's say you're making $5,000 a month. Let me make me smaller. You're making $5,000 a month. As long as you're in the States, every time you get that $5,000, every time, you are coming out of at least $1,100 to $1,200 just in taxes alone. The moment you take that online job outside the United States, since you're not there for 330 days of the year, you get this tax break that I was just showing you guys a moment ago. The FEIE. I've been telling guys about this for several years. Yes, us expats, we did get stimulus checks too. We got that when the stimulus checks came out. All of us got our stimulus checks direct deposit into our account. 2024 deadline. We could get an extension if we wanted to October 15th. We could also get an extension of our tax, filing our taxes all the way to December 15th, 2024 if we needed an extension. December 15th, to file our taxes for 2023. So I'm going to send this link. I'm going to drop this link, guys, because this gives some excellent information. Excellent information when it comes to filing your taxes and you live outside the United States, and all the benefits that we get that you guys do not get, and they never tell you about it. I will bet money. I will bet money on this. While you could go to all those other YouTube channels and they could show you how to spend money, you ever notice that they never show you, other than a few of us, how to save money? They never show you the benefit of living outside the United States, other than let's go party. How many, let me ask in the comment section, how many other YouTube channels that we watch on a regular basis, other than Nomad Capitalists and other than this channel, talk about the benefit of the tax exemption? I'll put 0 in because I don't know none. Out of all the YouTubers that I watch, I don't know not one has talked about the tax exemption as much as we have in digital in my man Nomad Capitalists. Other than that, none. They'll tell you where the party's at. They'll tell you where the women are at. They'll tell you where the fun is at. And all that is needed and important. I'm not taking anything away from what they share. But nobody is telling you that you get tax break benefits if you are outside the United States 330 days of the year. This is crazy. Shout out to you, brothers. Shout out to you. You say none, but they always want you to hit that cash out. Why did I hit that knowing it was going to do this? Yep. That is so true. So true. So true. Let's continue on with the video. All right, we're talking about class now. The different classes in the United States. Class versus salary. When it comes to class, top 5%, you got to be making at least $340,000 to be in the top 5 in the United States. To be in the top 10 in the United States, you need to be making at least $173,000 plus to be in the top 10. We already know to be in the top 1% in the United States, about 450,000. If you want to be a 1%er, it's about 450,000 a year. Net worth. Middle class is between 58,000 and 94,000, which is, we know that that's shrinking. Lower class is 30,000 to 58,000. This is the funny part. That lower class, you're living like a czar in most countries. I want to say that again. If you are making right now 30,000 to 58,000 and you are struggling in the United States and you know that you feel like you're lower class, do you not realize 85% of the planet, you will be living like a czar in 85% of the planet? You'll be living like Eddie Murphy and Coming to America. You could fly wherever you want to. Come on, God. All you military dudes. You can fly to wherever you want to with 58,000. You can eat wherever you want to for the most part. 58,000. You at any beach that you want to land in and spend the day, you want to go to Bali? Got you. You want to go to the beaches in Thailand? 58,000 will get you to the best beaches. Colombia, Cartagena, and other offshore beaches, such as San Andreas Island. Most places around the world, Peru, all those off the coast of the Pacific Ocean. Anyone? What about Brazil? Will you live good in Brazil with $58,000 USD a year? You living good. You do not have to bust your butt till someday I'll become a multi-billionaire. Why? I want to say this, guys, in all sincerity. You know why I don't trip on rushing to make $1 million? We've already passed the 100,000 mark already, but you know why I don't rush to make $1 million in Colombia or in most countries that I go to? You ready? You want the answer? Because with 100,000 or even 50,000 in many cases, I'm eating in the restaurant right next to the billionaire and the millionaire. That same golf course, that millionaire is right there. I'm pointing right at him, and I ain't even got $1 million. That same bowling alley that millionaires like to take their family to in Colombia, I'm bowling with their families. The same church that the millionaires in Colombia go to, I'm in that same church. I can't name a place in many countries that I go to that most of the time we have access to the same things and the same hotels and the same Airbnbs and the same beaches and same pools and the affinity pools that the millionaires have. So why you're trying to bust your butt in the United States because they trained you to think that you need to have $1 million to be amongst. In many cases, you just got to have $1 millionaire mindset. And the mindset will take you to places. In other words, I'm not going to go to this restaurant. Let's go here, babe. Let's check out this 5-star restaurant here. Andrea and I dine in the best places in Colombia. That's why you don't see us talking about, well, we went to this spot and we got robbed. Why? Every spot we go to got security guards with tuxedos on. And guess who's in there? Colombian's version of millionaires. You don't have to make $1 million to live $1 million life in most countries. Only in America where you make $1 million and it ain't even worth $1 million. So don't get caught up in thinking that. And this is probably one of the things that I've been kind of harping on, like I'm going to harp on the rest of this year. Don't get caught up on the idea I have to make a certain amount to get started with my journey to another country. I didn't say you got to come flat broke. I didn't come here flat broke. I came here with 30,000. I had a little small job, but basically Andrea and I with 30,000. Come on, let's be real, guys. You starting from scratch. Andrea and I started all this from zero with my little online job, my little 401k money that I had put to the side. I still had other investments, but the money that I pulled out of my 401k was 30,000. That was it. And I believed that I was going to make it. But for you guys that are going to hang around the States for another 10, 15 years until you make 100,000, you're crazy, because the thing that you cannot get back is your time. Especially if you make 100,000 and you come to this country and you find out it don't even take all that to live $100,000 life. 40,000 USD gives you the buying power of $120,000 a year. I'll say that again. 40,000 USD gives you the buying power of, once you get to South America, in many of these countries, $100,000 to $120,000 a year in buying power. That's what you want, right? You don't want to just have 100,000 in the bank. What do you want to do? You want it to have investment or buying power. So if you can get investments in Colombia or investments in Brazil, whether it be land, whether it be stock, whether it be crypto, and you can do that with 40, but you would need 100 in the States to do that? Shoot, give me the 40. Give me the 40. Don't get caught up, guys. I'm telling you. My man Will says this. He said, military retiree, military flights are free anywhere. They fly around the world. No excuse. So you military dudes, y'all really ain't got no excuse. Shout out to you, Real. Thank you for letting me know that or reminding me of that. Let's go back to the video. And if you pour it, less than 30. And once again, we're looking at the rent in the United States. After you pay all your bills off, the average American only has
2023, or are
$61 left.
people just complaining and freaking out on social media for no reason? This is one of those stories that to me is just fascinating. I can't look away from it. And so to look at how far our financial health has fallen, I say let's compare some basic cost of living numbers from 1983 compared to what we're facing in 2023, just 40 years later. And that might seem like a long time ago, but 40-year-olds today were little babies back in 1983. And their parents had dreams of raising them into a world where they could do better than they did growing up. But the country that developed over those 40 years is unlike anything those parents back then probably could have imagined for their little babies, who are 40-year-olds today. So talk about a midlife crisis, because back in 1983, the median household income was $24,580 per year. Today, that number has gone up to $76,201, which is an increase of 210%, which is pretty cool. We are all making more money. But back in 1983, the median price of a single-family home was $75,300, and in 2023, the median price of a single-family home, many of those homes are the same homes that existed and were built in 1983. The median price for those is now $431,500, which is an increase of 473%, which is
The same house that you would pay $47,000 for, now you're paying almost $470,000 for it.
interesting. If my math is correct, home prices have gone up more than people's ability to earn. But it doesn't stop there, because in 1983, the average price of a new car was $9,175. And
don't let that slide by. The average price in 1983 for a car, $9,100.
in 2023, the average cost of a brand new car in the United States is $48,000, which is an increase of 423%. So now let's hit some necessities really quickly and compare the things that we all have to buy on a daily or monthly basis, like food, gasoline, healthcare, and the pesky issue of higher education. So for food, to keep things simple, we'll look at a McDonald's meal, a Big Mac meal. And in '83, you could get a Big Mac, fries, and a Coke for $2.59. A gallon of gas back then cost you $1.16, and in 1983, healthcare costs per person came out to about $1,459 per person per year. And
you know those numbers that they just showed? Do you know in Colombia, those are actually right around the prices that I pay right now? When I first saw this video, I was like, what? Whoa. Gas prices in Colombia is like a little under $2 a gallon. It's like 180, 190. It dances between there. And I'm talking about for us, we're using premium. We use the best of the best. We're only paying 190 a gallon. Same thing you put in your Corvette or your Mercedes and your BMW, we're using 180, 190 a gallon. For both an Andrea and I medical, full scale, top of the line medical that we have, $1,200 a year for two people for the top of the line medical. $1,200 a year for two people. We were just talking the other day, our medical covers us even for house calls. Some of you guys never imagine in your mind that you could ever have house calls from some of the best doctors, or have house calls at all, unless it was rich people doing it. Yeah, when I was looking at these numbers, those are the exact same numbers that we're living here in Colombia. This kind of surprised me. $5. Woo! California boys, y'all paying it. IQS, y'all paying for it. The piper must be paid. Goodness. Shout out to my man Sean. He said, thank you for everything you do, Andre. He said, watching your channel helped me improve myself as a man. Shout out to us, men. Shout out to all of us, men. He said, also plan on moving to Colombia as well. Love it here, man. You'll love it. He said, the only thing holding me back is obtaining remote job. Take your time. Take your time. If I were you guys, I kid you not, I mean this in all sincerity. If I were you guys, I would go back to the video we did on 4th of July. We did a 2-hour video with the veterans. We're going to do another one coming up this week. Shout out to all the veterans out there. We're doing another one this week. And if it were me as a civilian, I would watch the last 2 hours of that 4-hour live stream, because it's dedicated to not only finding offshore government contract jobs that are not difficult to do for veterans, but it was also dedicated to finding offshore government contract work for U.S. regular civilians. A lot of guys don't want to do the contract work because they're scared to just go out there and just do it. Let's put it like this. Don't get caught up in, if the contract is not in your dream country, then you don't do it. No. If somebody's willing to pay you contract to do contract work and it's tax-free, remember, you're not in the United States for 330 days of the year, so it's tax-free. Get that $100,000. And it'll allow you to take the time out to get established in the country that you want to live in. So you may work in another country for a year or two, but that gives you a chance to establish yourself in the country that you want to live in. So don't take for granted that live stream. I've got people that I'm helping out right now when it comes to civilians in those government contract jobs, those opportunities. So shout out to you guys. Remember the 4th of July episode that we did on the veterans. That was last 2 hours, liquid gold. Yeah. Shout out to you guys. We try to do as much as possible on this channel to get as much information to you guys to be able to make these moves. Let's get back to the video.
And at that time, for a 4-year degree, you'd wind up paying $4,000. So let's run those numbers against what you have to pay for those.
I know I keep interrupting. He's right. Andrea's master here, master's degree, one of the best schools, $3,000 to $6,000 for a master's. For her to finish off her master, it's only $3,000 to $6,000 for a including everything, for a master's degree. All right, y'all want to keep on staying over there? Y'all can stay over there. I ain't mad at you. Go stay there.
Those same things in 2023 on your increased median household income of $76,000 a year. But let's keep in mind, not everybody is making $76,000 a year. There are still people in our society who are making 20, 30, 40 grand a year. And how those people are surviving is a complete mystery. Because today, that Big Mac, fries, and a Coke has gone from $2.59 to $10.82. That's a 317% increase. And the crazy thing is, fast food back in the day wasn't just convenient because of how fast it was actually in many cases way cheaper to eat fast food than to buy food from the store and prepare meals yourself at home. And that is just not the case anymore. So anyway, back to gasoline. The price of fuel has gone from $1.16 to, on average, $3.57 per gallon. That's a 207% increase. Healthcare in the United States has gone from roughly $1,459 per person to over $7,000 per person per year, a 359% increase. And finally, let's talk about education, because the price of that 4-year degree has exploded from $4,000 for a 4-year degree to $140,000 $4,000 on average. That doesn't include grad school. That is a 2,500% increase. Penny stocks and crypto meme coins don't go up by that much. And this is where the middle class
What's
finds
up,
itself
Lizard
in
Abroad?
2023, where
Shout out
the
to you,
median
brother.
household income has increased by 210% over the last 40 years. But during that same time, the cost of everything else that we mentioned in this video, collectively averaged out, has increased by 719%. And most of that has been driven by the cost of education and the cost of housing. And we haven't even talked about taxes and Social Security and childcare and a dozen other different things that American families have to pay for every single month.
So we already
So
went
let
over
me
that.
chime in.
Before we go into credit cards, because that's what's coming up next. So now we've laid the foundation. Is America the greatest country in the world when it comes to cost of living? No. We've already seen several times over with, let's even look up the stats. Let me put this into once again, I'm going to put into the chat the tax breaks that we get as citizens. I'm going to put that into the chat. Once again, shout out to my man Blizzard Abroad in the building with the super sticker. So sign up for that. Now I'm going to look up what countries in the world have the best cost of living. All right, let's take a quick look. Let's take a quick look. No, that's not what I'm looking for right there. I guess it is. Oh, they're giving me a lot of articles, but they're not giving me the one that I'm really, really looking for. Rank the countries in the world that have the best cost of living. All right, I think I got it. Because at the end of the day, that's what you want to know. We already saw that America, the cost that you're paying, we're not number one in the world when it comes to cost of living. We're actually one of the worst, especially when it comes to medical. They say most American citizens are one medical emergency away from bankruptcy. I'll say this again. They state that the average American citizen is one bankruptcy away. One medical emergency away from bankruptcy. I was looking at one article, and the young lady said that the reason why many Americans don't even take care of their health, they can't afford to get themselves checked out. One lady said, a friend of mine went and got an MRI to check on her body. She had something that was going on. They found nothing. Cost the young lady in copay $900. She doesn't have another $900 to go get a second opinion, even though she can feel that something is going on with her body, but she cannot afford to go get a second opinion. Many Americans can't even afford to get a second opinion. But we're the greatest country in the world. So let's take a look. Oh, it didn't open the way that I wanted it to open. Come on. Let's see. Oh, wow. Okay, let's see. I'm seeing some countries on here I did not know were at the top of the list. Okay, let's take a look. Screen share, Dre, screen share. All right. As for now, the countries that are the most affordable economically in all aspects. These are the most affordable countries for a person to live in. Number 1, Thailand. Overall, as far as the world and everything, Thailand ranks at number 29 overall in everything. But when it comes to affordability, number 1. Number 2, Vietnam. When it comes to everything, Vietnam is number 44. But when it comes to affordability, number 2. Number 3, Philippines. Number 4, Indonesia. Number 5, yeah, nobody's going to China. To India. Yeah. Malaysia, yeah. I can see that. Turkey. China is number 8 as far as affordability. Overall, everything, they rank number 20 for everything. But for affordability, China ranks but I like the fact that you guys, shout out to all you Thailand guys that see that Thailand is most affordable. Mexico is number 9. Cambodia is number 10. We can load more countries from Bangladesh to Argentina is number 12, the first one in South America on the list. Morocco, Brazil comes up at number 14 as the most affordable country as overall, as far as living in the country with everything, including medical, everything, education, everything. Brazil is number 28. But as far as just affordability, it's number 14. Chile. All right, we got South America being repped in the second go around, number 15. Sri Lanka, 16. Peru, number 17. Overall, it's 15 best country in the world, but as far as affordability, number 17. Costa Rica, number 18. Poland is number 19. Romania is number 20. And look at Colombia coming up at number 21. Ranking an overall best country in the world, number 60. Not bad, not the best, but not bad. But when it comes to affordability, Colombia is number 21. Then we have South Africa, Portugal, Bulgaria. DR is number 25. Shout out to DR and Croatia and Egypt coming up. Ecuador, South America just kind of like ran the gambit. Now we got Africa coming up. We got Uruguay once again with South America. We got Kenya. Notice a country that we haven't seen with affordability. What country have we yet to see when it comes to affordability? We just finished looking at over 30 countries. And when they say affordability or cost of living, and you guys say that it's the number 1, it's the best country in the world, when it comes to affordability and cost of living, what country have we not seen yet? The United States. We have yet to see the United States on this list. Let's scroll down. Spain, number 32. Guatemala. All right, Central America, number 33. Hungary, Guyana, Cameroon. Cameroon is number 36, not the United States. Zimbabwe. Shout out to Africa coming through once again. As El Salvador, let's scroll down. Greece. We're in the 40s. We've yet to see the United States as far as Panama, number 41. I can't even. Sheza? Cheshire? Chetsia? Oh, Czech Republic. Okay, there we go. Czech Republic is number 42. Slovakia, number 44. We're just scrolling down. Scrolling down, Honduras. Honduras, Central America once again. 47, Lithuania. 48, Cyprus. 49, Estonia. We're getting Europe. We got Europe on the ranking. Okay, we just hit 50 countries. We've yet to see the United States as number one in affordability, anywhere near the top 10, top 50 in affordability. Algeria, number 51. South Korea, 52. We're just going down. Italy, Uzbekistan, or Uzbekistan, or Uzbekistan. I hope I pronounced that correctly. Looks beautiful though. Number 53. Latvia, 55. Canada finally makes it at number 56, most affordable country in the world. Jordan is, shout out to the Middle East. Jordan is there. Japan, number 59. Singapore, number 60. Let's scroll down. We've gone through 60 countries, and we've yet to see America in Ukraine in all of the disaster that it's gone through. Lebanon. Well, there we go. The 63rd country. Even though it's considered number 5 best country overall. Now remember, United States always says that we're number one in everything. Everything. No. Right now, the United States ranks number 5 overall as far as everything is concerned. United States is just too expensive. That's why it ranks number. Now, it does have the number 5 ranking overall for everything. So there are 4 countries that are higher than the United States. But as far as affordability, 63rd. Ireland is next at 64. Belarus, Germany, these countries that we kind of know are expensive. New Zealand, Australia, Netherlands. These are the ones that we kind of like, we know. Oman, these are the ones that we kind of know that are expensive, number 70. Austria, Denmark, Saudi Arabia, so forth and so forth. Russia at number 75. But America, what was that, number 60? Let's scroll down. Let's scroll back down past everybody that had good. America was what, 63? Yep, 63. So the United States is ranked number 63, most affordable country in the world. So based off the video that we just watched, when they gave a cost of living breakdown, and now we see the stat, America is number 63. But you want to convince me to go back there to pay for that unhealthy food? Yeah, have fun with that.
How people are making it right now.
So now we're going to be talking about, shout out to my man Kenny in the building. Countdown Kenny. Kenny's on the countdown. Oh man, Black Lex in the building. He says this. He said, that goes to prove your point. If you can live in this expensive ass country, you should be fine in most other countries. And most Americans don't even realize that, brother. That's probably the craziest thing. Yeah, Blizzard Abroad, shout out to you once again. He said number one military, number one in the military, that's it. Yep. All right. He say, is it going to be on what's? Let me know what it is, Kenny, that you mean. It is going to be on WhatsApp. Oh, okay, cool, Ken. Thanks. He said, what about helicopter ride like VIP? There are a lot of guys that come down here and rent helicopters for a helicopter ride around the country. I haven't done it yet. I've done a few helicopter rides, but I haven't done one here in Colombia yet. Now we're going to talk about and listen to several people talk about credit card debt in the United States.
Now in America, with inflation at an all-time high, people that are making $35 an hour, $40 an hour are still broke. So you wonder, am I the only one feeling this? I know you guys are driving around in your city, seeing people still at the grocery stores, still in the fast food lines, still acting as everything is normal. But there's one thing that, if you haven't noticed, people are not using their money to survive right now. They're using credit cards. And if you look at America's credit card usage right now, it is at an all-time high. Most families are already maxed out. And I'm going to tell you one thing that's going to send everything into let's say a bad spot. They're not going to pay these credit cards back. They're spending knowing that they're not going to pay these credit cards back.
Some people have credit cards and they are like, oh no, they claim, oh, I pay it off every month. But the stat is like less than half of Americans actually
48%.
do. Yeah. So,
which means 52% don't.
Shout out to Lowe's.
And those are the ones that are
Lowe's.
like, maybe they were telling the truth. We don't know.
Yeah.
I have sneaking suspicions, considering we just hit over $1 trillion in consumer credit card debt, that some people are not telling the truth.
no, it's little liars out there.
So, and even if you are paying it off in full each month, I think it's still a
that.
bad financial habit, and you're spending more and you're stepping over $1 to pick up your 2% cash back.
Yep.
And it's just not worth it. And I cut mine up because I had credit cards. So I'm not this guy who never had credit cards. I'm above it all. I had the Amex Delta Sky Miles card because I was like, bro, how would you pass up to Sky Miles?
Totally.
And I had the Discover cashback card with rotating cashback.
back in,
It rotates. So it's like 1 month, it's like restaurants are 5% cash back. And I'm like, I'm going to be smart and go to restaurants this
and
month.
go out to eat and spend
Because
hundreds
that's
of dollars
smart when you're
out to eat.
$40,000 in debt. And I thought I was winning. I thought,
know.
I'm playing the game, Rachel. I'm beating the system.
And there's a psychological thing, as we're talking about every dollar. There's something about going out to eat and you pay for it. It comes out of your account and you're done. You're done. Versus getting a bill at the end of the month that you're still having to pay. You know what I mean? Like
On top of all the other bills.
living just in the present with your money and you're just spending as you're going. You're so aware of it. You're
Yes.
so aware of it. And there's not that bill at the end. So
100%.
there is a mental game to
I
it for
encourage you
sure.
all, if you have a credit card and you refuse to cut it up, do the 90-day no credit card challenge. Just put it in a block of ice, lock it in a safe for 90 days, and see if you spend your money differently.
Your New Year's resolution this year should be to cut your credit card in half because Americans have racked up an astonishing $1 trillion in credit card debt. That makes it the highest it has ever been in U.S. history. With the Fed increasing interest rates at a record pace this year, banks have followed suit, increasing the interest on their credit cards to over 20%. This is a huge issue for millions of Americans since credit cards are the #1 form of household debt. And since the price of virtually everything has gotten more expensive, like gas, groceries, and housing, this is only making this issue even worse. Because as things become less affordable, more and more Americans will be unable to pay off their monthly credit card balance, which means they are paying astronomical amounts of interest every single month and just flushing money down the drain. A recent study showed that 3 in 5 Americans are in credit card debt and owe an average balance of $5,800. And 28% of Americans believe it will take an average of 5 years to pay off their credit card debt. As the cost of inflation continues to outpace household income, the amount of debt that Americans are having will continue to get higher and higher. Don't get me wrong, credit cards can be extremely useful, but they can also be one of the most destructive forms of debt. And that's because they are the easiest form of debt to qualify for, but they also have some of the highest interest rates. So when we have millions of Americans who are taking full advantage of their credit cards, we end up with issues like this.
36% of Americans have more credit card debt than they do emergency savings. This is the second year in a row Bankrate has noticed this happening. It's also the highest number of people with credit card debt versus emergency savings we've seen dating all the way back to 2011. Greg McBride, Bankrate's chief financial analyst, says household expenses have gone up dramatically over the last year. And a lot of times it's been the credit card absorbing that cost.
Prices in general are up 20% in the last 4 years. Things like food prices are up 25% in the last 4 years. So the budgetary strain is very real. And that's had a pronounced impact on both credit card debt and savings. Savings balances that were pretty plump coming out of the pandemic have been run down. Credit card balances that had been paid down during the pandemic have run back up.
We're going to pause it right there for a second. So the first video with the young man said, he said, listen, you got all these Americans that are sitting back using credit cards, and they've already poised themselves to, or positioned themselves to not pay it back. That's what's going to be the bubble that breaks in America. The credit card bubble is next in line. President Biden helped the student loan bubble a little bit, but nobody's helped that credit card bubble. And if you think that Americans are not shiesty enough to not pay it back and say, F it, I'm not paying it, I don't have the money for it. Let's go back to 2008 and the 2012 housing crisis. What happened? Americans had mortgages to pay back for all those balloon loans, those ARMs. Instead of getting a fixed income loan, many of us took out loans that were ARMs, meaning adjustable rate mortgages. And it kept going up. And then when 2008, 2012 hit, the bubble burst. And what were people doing? They were literally taking the keys to their house and sticking it in the mailbox and walk away. Don't tell me what Americans won't do. We've already seen Americans do that before. If America will walk away from credit card, from housing debt, say, listen, I can't afford this house. Get me when you get me. I'm the gingerbread man. Catch me if you can. Americans have no problem with taking a credit card and say, no, that's all right. I'm not going to pay this. I'm never going to pay that debt. American credit card debt and global credit card debt created a whole industry when it comes to collection agencies calling and blowing up people's phone because they can't afford it. Colombia is a credit card debt country. Same thing here. You wonder why Colombians can afford all the same things that Americans can, even though the prices are lower? Credit cards. Credit cards. But the one thing that Colombians have done, which Americans don't do, most Colombians don't have housing costs in regards to monthly mortgages. It is hard to get a mortgage in Colombia. So many of these Colombians have been owning their homes for 2-3 generations. Just like in Mexico, many Mexicans have already owned that land. They've already owned that house. They just tore the house down and rebuilt it. Here in Colombia, people that own the house, they're just revamping the house. In other words, they'll make it more modern. They're not purchasing it. Colombians down here are taking out loans to be able to revamp, or have saved to be able to revamp, restructure the inside of the house. Now, when they bought it when grandma bought it in 1970, it doesn't look like that on the inside. It looks like 2025 on the inside. But Americans have the mortgage, the rent, and all those other things that we were talking about. So number two, we just proved when it comes to credit card debt, America does not treat its people right, and they just try to suck you into more and more credit card debt. Yeah, that discipline and credit cards. Americans put their wants over their needs. We have no discipline with money because Americans have been trained to be consumers. We make a lot of money and spend a lot of money. Remember, we looked the other day at the $1.6 trillion in spending power that the Black community has every year. $1.6 trillion that Black people have in our actual hands. White man can't take it. You can't blame it on the white man. It actually goes into our bank accounts. We've earned it. $1.6 trillion. Black people can do anything we want with it. Anything. And what do? We spend it to the point that when it comes to savings, on average, the average American Black person, when it comes to wealth, we're 15 cents to every dollar of every white person. And when it comes to saving on a yearly basis, putting monies to the side, we're negative. We're the only ones in the country with negative, not even the Latin community. We're the only ones that are negative 14% when it comes to savings and investings on a yearly basis. We are educated to be consumers. Absolutely correct, brother from down under. Shout out to you being here too, brother. said we have the biggest spending power on the planet. We have the spending power of a country, many countries. Yeah, black people gonna spend. Y'all gonna buy them Jordans and them Gucci belts. Some of y'all will sit up there instead of spending $50 on some Elysium cologne. On the Imperium, $50, the same cologne, y'all will go ahead and spend $250 on the Elysium just to say, well, that's a clone that Andre has. I have the original Elysium Creation E. Nothing wrong with having those things. You've earned it. But I smell just good as you do. And this really does smell good, man. I kid you not. This really does. Oh, man. Man, boy, that smells good. Very, very citrus smell. Yeah, man. Yeah. Next thing we're going to look at is retirement. Is it easy to retire in the United States when it comes to cost of living? Let's take a look at that.
Many are used to the idea of looking forward to retirement at age 65. But in 2024, that's getting harder and harder. Inflation, the rising cost of living, unexpected health expenses are pushing many retirees back to work. Elizabeth Pran tells us more.
So before I knew it, it was gone.
Sherry Evans Buford is talking about her life savings. She and her husband plan for retirement. The couple moved to Florida with their 401ks in tow, calculating future Social Security. But life happened.
Life happens. and you can't, and what I've learned is you can prepare all you want to, but you can't prepare what actually happens.
Buford has an elderly mother who needs care. Her husband was in a terrible car accident and her rent has gone up. She says that, plus inflation-priced groceries and utilities, has all but wiped out her retirement.
Now I'm really worried as to what's going to happen next year. Because I'm assuming either I got to buy a house or our rent's going to go up. And what do I do?
And she's far from alone. The Federal Reserve conducted a 2022 survey. It revealed only 54.4% of American families had a 401k or an IRA account. That's a big sector of the population without an income if they exit the workforce. Some, like Buford, say relying on Social Security is simply not enough.
We're
going to pause it there for a second. Just think about that lady, this lady's scenario. Just think about this lady's scenario. All it took was one car accident from her husband, that's an older man, and her mother or his mother aging. All it took was a medical emergency from her husband and the fact that his or her mother is aging to wipe away all their savings in the United States. If it were me, but this is Andre, once retired, you wouldn't have saw me in the United States. Because I could have gotten just good of medical care, if not better, in other countries. Remember, Colombia is ranking number 36. United States ranks number 39. Thailand is like in the top 10. That's why you have so many elderly moving down to Mexico right now. They're close enough to the United States where they can get back through driving without having to fly. Being in the Latin community and Latin culture, you know Latin people take care of elderly. If you don't know nothing about South America, you know that if you are old, you are not alone. Your family is going to take care of you till your dying day. There's nothing to see older people. Like I say, it's nothing for me to see in Colombia. A hot, sexy woman walking with her older granddad or grandmother or mother in the malls all day long. It don't matter how sexy this woman is. She knows one day is going to be her that's the old person that's going to need somebody. All the time. I could walk out to a mall. I could have walked out to the mall tonight or today, and that's all you will see. Somebody that's attractive with their grandmama or granddaddy, or their older mother and older. So in South America or in the Latin community, a lot of times people look out for each other. Andrea's dad's mom will be 95 this year. Still alert, still gets around real good. The family takes her everywhere. If they go, she goes. There is no nursing homes. There are nursing homes, but I'm talking about as far as Andrea's family is concerned. So all it takes is one medical emergency in the States and you're done. All you guys that are saving and stacking your money and you're 35 and you're getting it and you own 3, 4 pieces of real estate and you doing it like that. All it takes is one emergency situation as you get older. All it takes is one emergency situation with your mama or your daddy or one of your kids, even though you got savings. And because the costs are so expensive in the States, it'll wipe away all your investments. Let's go back to the video.
On Social Security payments, and that's really nothing. And my rent went up to almost $3,000.
The average.
You got an older woman with an aging, hurt husband who's taking care of an aging mother whose rent is $3,000 a month.
Benefit is about $1,900 a month. That would give you an annual sum of just under $23,000 a year. The poverty line is just under $18,000.
Let's go look at that again when it comes to Social Security benefits.
Some, like Buford, say relying on Social Security is simply not enough.
We're living on Social Security payments, and that's really nothing. And my rent went up to almost $3,000.
The average benefit is about $1,900 a month. That would give you an annual sum of just under $23,000 a year. The poverty line is just under $18,000.
We're the silent in the middle majority who have all these obligations, and we don't even have time to sit down and think, how much money am I really going to need? And before you know it, the money you thought you had is gone.
And for those who have saved, investing agencies such as Vanguard are seeing an uptick in early withdrawing. The agency data shows 3.6% of clients withdrew from their 401k accounts in 2023 for emergency circumstances, up from 2.8% the year before.
One of the big things is you look at your 401k and your savings. And to make ends meet, you start taking out 100 here and 50 here. And before you know it, it's gone. You know, it doesn't take much, and you don't realize it. I mean, we had a plan, and the plan just didn't work out.
Hannah, one of the things that Buford told me at the end of our conversation is that her biggest fear is that she could pass away or her husband could pass away. So everything that they are getting would be cut in half, and no one would be there to take care of her mother. But they're really not alone. There's about 90% of retirees who say that they're noticing inflation is taking a bite out of their assets.
Absolutely correct. When it comes to retirees, those that are on Social Security already know that if they don't do anything for Social Security within the next 10 years, by 2031, they're supposed to be doing a cut in Social Security, automatic cut, of about 23 to 24% of Social Security benefits. So if let's say you're a person that brings in $2,000 a year, that's going to be cut to $1,500. If you're a person on Social Security and that person is getting $1,000 a year, they're only going to get $750 for the rest of their lives per month if the government doesn't do anything about it. Now, there are many out there, such as Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren, and the Congressman John Lewis, and others that are trying to make some changes when it comes to Social Security, but there's still some things that need to be done. And this is why we have this channel, Mostly Money, and we focus on Social Security and getting other information out there as far as other benefits that are already available for seniors to take advantage of. So for those of you that haven't subscribed to Mostly Money Television and you know seniors, make sure you subscribe, because that's what we focus on, is looking out for those seniors, because someday, whether we all want to admit it or not, we will be seniors as well. Let's continue on. The next thing we're going to look at is, let's see. Oh, food. Is America number one when it comes to food costs? Shout out to you, IQS or TIQS. Make sure you guys subscribe to all the other channels, and that's Mostly Money. Shout out to you. You say retire in South America, Central America, or Asia. It depends on what you're looking. I would say this, and you're absolutely correct. Choose one of those three, because it depends on what country you're looking for at the end of the day. And most of us are finding joy and good lives in one of these three areas: South America, Central America, and Asia. There are some great places in Europe as well. Like Spain, excellent prices. A lot of brothers and sisters are going to Portugal, having excellent lives there. A lot of people are starting to move to Italy now. So that lower region of Europe is still cost effective, and you still get a bang for your buck. Let's continue on when it comes to food. The cost of
Would you pay $18 for this burger? A McDonald's franchise in Connecticut is charging $18 for a Big Mac meal. To some, this is just another sign of food inflation running amok in America. To me, this is about more than just the price of a burger. The cheap hamburger is the classic American food. It's also America's favorite dish. We eat an estimated 50 billion burgers a year, and the vast majority of those come from affordable restaurant chains like McDonald's and Burger King. For the millions of Americans whose idea of dining out is a meal at one of those restaurants, it is their third place. That term was coined by sociologist Ray Oldenburg to describe the social environment where people are most likely to spend time after home and work. Now, you can get a cheap burger in plenty of places in New York for $2.55 or even less, but that's not our third place. In small towns, especially in poor and middle-income neighborhoods, a McDonald's can serve as a community center where people build and foster physical social networks. It can be a public square where people break free from their social media bubbles and encounter a wider range of ideas. Now, already fewer than 10% of people who eat McDonald's food are actually dining in a McDonald's. That's down from 25% before the pandemic. And the CEO of McDonald's has already said that making his burgers more affordable is going to be a big priority this year. But if fewer Americans are going to their third places, there will be consequences for society at large. For one, at a time of profound political division, exacerbated by polarizing influences of an election year, we may need our third places more than ever. And a side of fries couldn't hurt.
No, it's not your imagination. It's not even an opinion anymore. Grocery store chains made money hand over fist during the pandemic and have continued to enjoy huge profits ever since, while all of us pay extremely high prices. That is what the federal government has just determined after a years-long study conducted by the Federal Trade Commission, the FTC. A study was just released this week titled Feeding America in a Time of Crisis. And it was really meant to focus on supply chains and how the pandemic really exposed the problems and vulnerabilities we have in this country. But it also examined how those supply chain disruptions impacted major grocery stores and all of us, the folks who were just struggling to find toilet paper. Do you remember that? But the key takeaway from this report is that we all, the consumer, suffered a lot during the pandemic. And turns out it's still happening to this day. The report says consumers are still facing the negative impacts of the pandemic's price hikes, as the Commission's report finds that some in the grocery retail industry seem to have used rising costs as an opportunity to further raise prices to increase their profits, which remain elevated today. The report says food and beverage retailers basically exploited product shortages in the supply chain during the pandemic and raised their prices more than needed to cover the added costs, and then just kept those prices high once the supply chain recovered. Further, the report says bigger retailers use their marketing power and their leverage to widen their advantage over smaller competitors, which also contributed to increased prices. The report found revenues increased more than 6% over total costs in 2021. That's higher than the most recent peak in 2015, when revenues increased 5.6% over costs. And then the first 3 quarters of 2023, retailer profits increased even more, with revenue reaching 7% over total costs. The FTC says this data disproves the food and beverage retailers' claims that the reason for the increased prices that we're all seeing is just because their costs are going up. Yes, of course, their costs probably did go up, but the FTC says it is unreasonable to think those costs have continued to go up that much year over year since 2021. The FTC report says these elevated profit levels discovered in this report should absolutely be investigated further by not only the FTC, but also congressional lawmakers. So if you want to read the Feeding America in a Time of Crisis report for yourself, I will email it out to you in my Newsgirl News Roundup email, so make sure you sign yourself up.
We've increased food prices.
Good.
Decreased portion sizes. And blamed it on the economy.
Perfect.
I've done everything you've asked, sir. We've also made it look normal by getting other big food corporations to do the same.
Fatality.
But, sir, what about the possibility that customers stop eating here?
Where are they gonna go?
Costco!
We raised the prices like 80 times in the past 3 months, and they keep coming back.
I don't know how you do it, sir! But how do we get away with raising the price over and over again?
Look at the analytics.
I have them right here. Our profits have quadrupled!
As long as we raise these prices and our profits continue to increase, that tells us we can continue to raise prices as long as those profits increase.
Sir, you're a genius! What about the people complaining about us online?
Let them complain. They're still eating the food.
Sir, you're a genius! So they basically feel like they have no other option because we're a big company.
Absolutely.
Well, what if they start revolting against big food corporations?
You think these people...
I'm listening.
They turned hating Chipotle into a trend and made us more money. People are coming more, and the prices have not changed at all.
So that's why you told us to start giving them more portions when they record.
Well, that was the easy part.
Pretending to care on camera when we really don't. Making them feel like we care about them.
Right on the money.
But sir, what do we do about customers who are struggling?
Absolutely nothing. Drain their pockets. Give the CEO a $30 million raise.
For doing nothing.
Give the workers a 50-cent raise.
That's fair.
And take $4 more from the customers' wallets.
Doubling our billions while having to
Absolutely.
So you're a genius!
I know.
All right, so we just finished looking at cost of food. Cost of food. You know me, I'm always coming with the receipts. Let's look at the price ranking for a meal, just a regular meal. We've used this link before when it comes to comparing countries. Just a normal meal, just a regular everyday sit down, like Victory was talking about when me, Victory, and a couple other brothers went out to have lunch at a vegan restaurant here in Colombia. We went out to have lunch in a vegan restaurant here in Colombia. Victory said, he told me today, he said, I thought I was splurging by paying the receipt until I realized the bill was only $19 in an Afro-Colombian vegan restaurant. Great food. $19 to eat very healthy foods, recipes, fresh chop, nothing coming from the freezer, nothing fast food about what we were eating. The juice was fresh squeezed that we drank. And for all 4 grown men to eat and feel good, $19. $19. So yeah, there will come a time where Victory will not be going back anytime too soon, except to visit the family. So let's look at the list of countries. Let me move me out of the way. Move Dre out the way. Move Dre out the way. Here we go. Yeah, you should make content for profit. Okay, let's look at the list. This is the ranking, price ranking by country for meal, inexpensive restaurants, just regular everyday restaurants. The most expensive meals are in Switzerland. Number 2, Denmark. Look at number 3. Recognize that country? I do. That is the United States. Luxembourg is next. Belgium is next. UK. Norway, Israel, Ireland, Canada. All you calendar boys, you make it in the top 10 most expensive places to get a meal. Just a regular everyday meal. Then we got the Netherlands, Australia, so forth and so forth. Greece is 15. Germany is number 20. Let's see how far down it goes. Croatia, number 39. Costa Rica, number 41. Venezuela, number 37. Portugal, number 31. Mexico is number 39. Nowhere near the top as far as a nice meal being expensive. Czech Republic, number 49. The UAE is number 47. Chile, number 50. Let's scroll down a little bit more. Qatar, Cuba at $7 for a meal. Cuba. And I had 2, I kid you not, I had 2 lobsters, huge lobsters. I had 3 margaritas for $10 in Cuba. So I know by experience. Let's scroll down. Saudi Arabia, number 60, 63. Kuwait, number 64. Zimbabwe, number 65. Look at the price. Even at number 65 for a meal, you're only paying $6 and something. It's only $6 or something in Ukraine. That same meal that you would pay $20 for in the United States, in Colombia, $4.41. In Peru, it's $3.96. Ecuador, it's $3.50 for that same meal that you're paying $20 for in the United States. Bolivia, we're still in South America, $2.90 in Bolivia. In Bangladesh, for that same meal that you were eating for $20 in the United States, $1.71. America is not number one when it comes to cost of living, when it comes to what we looked at so far. Credit cards, your daily cost of living, and retirement. The last thing we're going to look at tonight, gentlemen, let me hear what you guys have to say. He said, bro, I splurged at a bar and I thought I went in. He said it all came out $60. I was like, damn. Yep, DJ Dave. Yep. He said Colombia isn't even the top 50 most expensive countries in the world. Nope. Nope, nope, nope. We just looked at the list. Colombia was, let's go look again. Colombia was past Cuba too. It's less expensive to be in Colombia than it is to be in Cuba. Colombia was number 75 at $4.41. $4.41 for the same meal with better quality. That's the part that gets me about Colombia. You're getting the same meal in better quality. That's probably the part that really kind of just amazes me the most. Like, are you kidding me, dude? You mean I could get the exact same meal and not pay the exact same amount? I'll sit up there, man. I could be at a sports bar. I'm going through this gin and tonic phase, right? So when I go to a bar, man, I'm always ordering gin and tonics, right? I can sit up there and have 7 gin and tonics, just messing around, conversing with you guys, laughing, kiki, cat. My bill will come, and after 6 or 7 gin and tonics, I might pay $30. I might pay $30, maybe $25. It's crazy. We can get a bottle for $60. Yep. I think the most that I paid for a bottle at a club, I bought a bottle of Buckingham, the whiskey, and I think that was like $120 for the Buckingham at a club, popping bottles VIP. So this is VIP all the way through, and that was only $120. And that also included, by the way, that Buckingham whiskey. You could take it home with you, because all clubs in Colombia, they want you to take the liquor home with you. But that didn't even include, that also included the sodas that I ordered, the bottled waters, all the other stuff that you order, little things that go along with your alcohol. $120 at the most. And that was me buying one of the best whiskeys that particular location had. You say buffet meal in Copa, Brazil is less than $10 tops. I could imagine how much a buffet costs in the States. Going to the Chinese buffet or something like that. I couldn't even imagine. Let's go to the next one. Go back to the video.
Traveling in the US is so expensive.
This next part is foreigners. People always say, everybody want to come to the US. United States is it. Everybody want to come to the US. Okay. So you say. But once they get to the US, let's hear what foreigners have to say about the cost of living in the United States once they get there, or once they have visited there. Let's go back. And he was saying the cost of living in the United States.
On top of being expensive, I believe it's not as nice as traveling through Europe. So people will literally take a flight to go to New Orleans, spend $500 from California, I don't know, to eat their $25 processed meals in some fancy-looking stupid bar, which still tastes 5 times worse than Italian stuff. It doesn't make sense to me. Spend $400 more, $900 here in Italy. For the price of 4 days in New Orleans, you can spend 2 weeks in Italy. I'm in fucking Rome right now. I just had a cappuccino and a cornetto for $2. I cannot even just buy a normal coffee in America for that. I went to a lake close to Rome a few days ago. I paid an aperitivo for 3 people. Drinks and food. I paid $20. I barely can buy a cocktail with that in a nice place in America. Yes, I know there are places where you can get them for $10. Go to DC to a rooftop bar. Nope. A whole ass meal, a nice big plate of pasta, $10 if you want to go to an okay restaurant. On top of that, while walking around Rome, you see nice sights, stuff that is 2,000 years old. Not a statue that was built 10 years ago, in most cases as a consequence of a humanitarian happening. I don't know, here you're literally surrounded by history. It's a museum literally in the open. Most of it you can visit for free, maybe for the same price as going to New Orleans.
Americans are so broke and they don't even realize it. I always get Americans tell me, oh, but people in Mexico only make $20 a day. You can get a full meal here for $2. The metro in Mexico City costs 5 pesos, which is like 25 cents. I can go to the market right now and buy 3 kilos of mangoes for like $2. Yeah, people make less money here, but the cost of living is also lower. Americans think that everywhere is like the US. Now, check this out. Let's say you live in the US and you make $3,500 a month after taxes. I'm being generous. Rent, $2,000. Car payment, $500. Car insurance, $200. Health insurance, $200. Phone bill, $100. Wi-Fi bill, $50. Light bill, $150. Water bill, $100. What's the point of making more money if you don't get to keep any of it? Who cares if you make $4,000 a month if you don't get to keep any of it? 60% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck, and that includes half of six-figure earners. 80% of you guys are in debt and don't own anything, and half of you guys don't even have $500 in your savings account. But let's call other countries poor and let's call other people poor. Living paycheck to paycheck your whole life and being in debt your whole life should be considered poverty, but it's not. And I know this is going to hurt a lot of Americans, but it's the truth. The US system wants you to spend every waking moment of your life working and paying into a system that will never benefit you. Slaving away your whole life just to be retired for a measly 10 years. At least here in Mexico, we own our things. We own our houses. We own our cars. We're not in debt. But anyways, that's a story for another day. Let me know what you guys think.
As a Canadian living in the States, I'm going to tell you what it's really like. Because I'm so sick of hearing people be like, oh, I can't wait to move away from Canada. I'm going to move to the States. It's going to be so much better. I can't believe Canada's like this. No, you don't even know. Okay, let's start with number one. I pay $4,000 Canadian for my 1-bed, 1-bath apartment. $4,000 a month Canadian for my 1-bedroom apartment that is on the first floor. Nothing special. Number two, the cost of living is so high here that people basically are deciding between paying rent and buying food or getting any kind of medical care. They actually have to choose one or the other because you can't afford getting both. For example, my coworker, I'm a nurse, I work in the hospital, I have health insurance. My coworker, also same thing, is a nurse, got an MRI on their knee. They're having pain and they were like, okay, well, I want to investigate. I want to see what this pain is coming from. So they go in for an MRI, $900 out of pocket. $900 with their health insurance, everything, just to get an MRI. It came up inconclusive, so they still have no idea, but they also don't want to put more money into figuring it out. Then there's the next thing where food is so expensive, but you know what's not expensive? Fast food. So guess what everyone eats? Fast food, TV dinners, quick foods. Because if that's what everyone's eating, guess what the solution is? You can buy Ozempic from any med spa here. Any single one. You can walk in, you can get Ozempic. It's advertised everywhere. And not even just that, it's like the money incentive for doctors. I have told my family, if anything happens to me, just get me to Canada. Like, I don't care, just get me to Canada, get me out of here. I will not be admitted to a hospital here because absolutely not.
Only rich people say that America is better.
This is really true. America is expensive to live in. Obviously, where you live in America matters. I live in New York City and the cost of living is much higher than someone living in Iowa. But I wanted to show you what the average income per year was by country, and America ranks in as number 7 with $70,000. That might not sound like a lot.
Before she goes any further, let's look at the ranking, the list that she's talking about. Let us see. So I can blow my screen up to see that. See the list that she's talking about. Give me a second. So I can see the list myself. Because it'd be good to see what. Okay. She says that according to the list, Morocco is the most expensive country. Or Moroccans make the most money per year. Then Bermuda, on average income per couple, per year, is $122,000 in Bermuda. Switzerland is number 3 at $90,600. Then you've got Luxembourg at number 4 with $190. Ireland is number 6 when it comes to money that you make per year or per month. Also, per year it's $76,111. And number 7 is the United States, where the average person, which I don't see the average person doing that. They got to be calculating billionaires and millionaires into this. Makes $70,930 a month. That means that the average person is, a year, $7,930. That means per month, $5,911. I don't know too many Americans that bring in almost $6,000 a year before taxes. I know I did, but I didn't know too many other people that did in the United States. The next one is Denmark, is Singapore, Iceland, Qatar, Sweden. Looks like that's Australia. And number 14 is the Netherlands. That's the list that she's showing right there. So let's continue on with the video.
Of money, but compared to other countries, it is. For example, in the United Kingdom, the average income is around $44,000. Germany is a little bit more expensive, around $50,000. Even in parts of Asia, like Japan, you can be making anywhere from $40,000 to $50,000 and live a pretty moderate life. America has a lot of problems, but one of the big things are we don't feel like we're making enough money. And with the cost of living rising, that fear that you don't have enough money is super real. The cost of rent, food, and insurance is so high in America, it's not normal.
So we just heard from what foreigners that have gone to the United States who thought it was the land of milk and honey, thought it was all that. Yes, all the opportunities you have in the United States are there, but you also have the opportunities to spend more than you would have in your home country. And a lot of foreigners don't realize that. A lot of items that you guys think that you have, we the only ones that have this. That's not true. I keep trying to let y'all know we got IKEAs like you got IKEAs. You got Home Depot. It's called Home Center here, same products. You got Dollar Tree. It's Dollar City. It's the same franchise right down the street on every other corner. You've got 7-Eleven. You go throughout Asia, 7-Elevens on every other corner. You got Amazon. Amazon delivers dang near everywhere. Half of the studio came from Amazon. So when I hear Americans bragging about what you have in the States, what you have is debt. What you have is unhealthy foods. What you have is a strong city police presence. What you have is a prison industrial complex. What you have is people still dealing with racial issues, and it's impacting the economy. Thus saith the book, The Sum of Us. This book is written about how expensive racism is in the United States. This book is how expensive racism is in the United States. How much you all are paying to be racist towards each other. Blacks, whites, Latins, everybody is paying the piper because of racism. Everybody is struggling and not even realizing that you are paying the piper not because of your race, but because there are people out there that are making billions upon billions off of the fact that you all are racist towards each other. And there's money to be made by it. Just like there's money to be made off of single mothers, single women, single men breaking up of the family. There's money to be made off of that. So it is with racism. Racism has been, remember I said, Colombia is America is a corporation. Do you think racism is emotional? No, a corporation doesn't care. They're going to make money. And that's what this book tells about by Heather McGee. It's a really good read. And I don't know her. I'm not promoting it. I would love, you know what? I might reach out to her to get her on the show. But there is money to be made off of racism. Because America is a corporation and its job is to promote anything that corporations will be able to make money off of. America is going down. Better get out while you can. Yeah. Shout out to you, brother, for being here. Yeah, he's absolutely correct. Roger said, hey, if y'all gonna be here, okay. He said crime is going back up like crazy. Man, okay. How many countries have you seen on TikTok or on YouTube where they've got teenagers just running into stores or older people running into stores, grabbing items and walking out or running out? What other country you see that in? America's trying to make it seem like everybody is so starving and so poor. Okay, if it's so bad, how come you don't see the Venezuelans in Venezuela robbing and raiding their own stores? I haven't seen the videos. What about Colombians? This supposed to be third world, right? A developing country. How come you don't see the Colombians walking into the stores and just shoplifting and walking out? They don't even have that much of a police presence. I'll say that again. At least America's got more police presence to be able to stop it. Colombia doesn't have as large of a police force. So it should be easier for people to walk around Colombia and just take things, correct? Then why don't you see it? Oh, you'll see your little crimes, little petty crimes that happen in any other country, but you don't see 10, 15 teenage Colombians running up an Éxito grocery store or Jumbo grocery store. You don't see young teenage men running up in a clothing store in a mall and taking everything and running out, do you? Only in the United States, our country 'tis of thee, will you see that. Only in our country. You don't see them. Which country do you know where they got two old ass men running for president? I keep up on politicians. Most countries ain't got no old ass dudes. Y'all got a dude running for president that y'all about to elect at 68 years old. 78 years old. That means by the time this dude Trump is done being your president, this dude will be in his 80s. Biden is 81. This dude will be over 85 years old by the time, if he wins, by the time he retires from being a president, because y'all so ornery, y'all refuse to give some of these younger candidates a chance. And we do it year in and year out. Think about all of the presidents and senators that we literally, let me put it like this. Let me not even go back in time. Literally, right now in the United States, we have the oldest Senate and Congress in U.S. history. The average age is a person in their 60s. We got people in their 80s that are running our Congress, that are running our military. People that should be retired, sitting back, relaxing. But we as Americans are too ornery to let younger people have an opportunity to do things that we'll sit up there, we'll keep electing the same idiots. We know that Trump is just as crazy as Biden is forgetful. We laugh at Biden for mumbling, but we forget that Trump rambles. So all you trumpets out there, don't think that you're doing any better, or don't think the country gonna get any better when Trump wins. I believe he's gonna win. I think Biden doing that debate literally handed Trump the presidency. I literally do. But don't think that you came up. All you trumpeteers, don't think that you came up. It's not gonna get better. It is not going to get better. Y'all know race relations is not going to get better once Trump is back in office. Every racist white boy and white woman that you can imagine is going to be coming out the woodworks with the "I told you so" story. Okay. And y'all be expecting us expats. Y'all be trying to talk down to us expats who left. You ain't American. I'm 100% American. That doesn't mean I have to live in America to be American. Everybody knows that. Just like an African doesn't have to live in Africa to be an African. Or a person from Ireland, Irish, doesn't have to live in Ireland to be Irish. Italians don't have to live in Italy to be Italian. But only Americans put down other Americans for leaving America. So now we've heard what foreigners have to say. Let's listen in to what Americans have to say about our country, 'tis of thee, and the cost of living in America.
If you have never been American poor, you do not have the right to talk to people about being American poor. But you know what? Let's look at the numbers anyway. Income minus your expenses, that's your budget. We're saying no healthcare, no insurance, no car, no transportation, no debt, no cleaning, no clothing, no cell phone, no internet, no pets, no fun. We're just looking at our wage minus our taxes, minus rent, minus utility, minus food, and that's what we have left over to budget. If you are working 40 hours a week in America at minimum wage and you are not paying any state taxes, just federal, and you're getting a 1-bedroom apartment, no extra utilities, just your electric and water, and you are eating at $10 a day, you are $11,979.60 short. Okay, cool. Get a roommate. You are still $1,179.60 short. Okay, but you know what? That's fine, because you can't even qualify for a 1-bedroom apartment because you have to make 3 times rent in order to qualify. So that would mean you would have to have 2 adults who are each making $30,600 a year. That is twice. That is more than twice minimum wage.
When are we going to get back to the days when somebody can support themselves and live comfortably with just one income? I have a full-time job that years ago I could have raised a family on what I make. And it's like now I have to do side hustles, you know, to supplement my income because it's gotten so fucking expensive to live.
It's crazy you have to work like 75% of your life, like donate, give up 75% of your time pretty much just to literally survive, just to live. Not to live comfortably, not to live well, just to live.
And you're having people struggling over money, struggling over food, struggling over finding a place to live. What do you think you're going to expect from America? You're going to get more violence. You're going to get more people attacking other people. You're going to get more of the looting in different stores.
And then it's like I woke up all of a sudden and my insurance has doubled, food has fucking tripled, gas is so expensive, electric bill over double, my fucking rent went up. I can't be the only one that's drowning.
Everybody is going through this bullshit. Everyone. Can't go to Canada, can't go to the UK. Everyone is dealing with just not being able to sustain life.
I've never had.
She said everyone, every country she meant. Everyone is not able to sustain life. Everyone is going through that. And the 2 examples that she used for everyone was Canada and UK. Westernized countries. That's how naive most of us Americans are about other countries. Even the country that's south of us. We are so naive to Mexico. So many Americans have such a skewed image of Mexico itself. We think of small towns and tequila, hot weather, sombreros, and beautiful Mexican women in flower dresses when we think of Mexico. Or we think of Mexico like the trumpets, like people that are trying to run across the border to come to the amazing country known as America. Until those of us who have been to Mexico and we find out that all the stuff that's been told to us about our southern neighbors is a lie. You know who's about to blow up like crazy in the next 5 years? Mexico this past year was the #1 import country that we imported goods from, not China. Trump is going to continue to try to tell y'all about China. Other politicians are going to still holler China. And guess who's making all the money when it comes to importing goods to Americans? Mexico. Look it up. Yep. He said followed by Argentina and Venezuela. When it comes to the Cash App, shout out to my man Abijah with the $5 Cash App donation, and my man Vincent Wood with the with the $10 Cash App donation. Shout out to you guys. Shout out to you guys. Uriah says, shout out to Uriah in the building. Uriah says the propaganda always keeps tripping, keeps the trapped minds in place. Absolutely correct. DJ says this. He say, I think a lot of these women may be starting to consider long-term commitment with some of these dudes. They said that they won't go for. They will. That they will not go for. Absolutely. Mexicans shouldn't let America move there once we tank. Did you know this? My Carolina friend, that Mexico for years has been the #1 expat country for Americans in the world. There are over 1.3 million Americans that live in Mexico as we speak. That's why I laughed at you all, including you trumpets, the disciples of Trump, when you guys said we need to build a wall. When Trump was like, we're going to build a wall. It's going to be fabulous. It's going to be great. It's going to have my name on it. It's going to be the best thing ever. Keep the immigrants out. We're going to build the wall. And I'm thinking, like, build a wall. It should be Mexico that's building a wall. We get in from Mexico, not Mexicans. I'm going to say that again. The poorest of the poor immigrants that are coming to the United States are not Mexicans. Mexicans are not running across the border to get to the United States. I don't know who is selling that product. People are going through Mexico to go across the borders. But there's not 100,000 Mexicans trying to get, no. If you guys have ever taken, if you haven't been out of the country yet, I mean this in all sincerity, and you're not ready to come to Colombia or Thailand or anything like this, don't go to Canada yet. I like Canada. I love Canada, but they're still westernized. Go to Mexico. I don't care if you go to Mexico City. I don't care if you go to Mexico City. I don't care if you find a Mexican town. I don't care if you go to Cancun, Playa. I don't care where you go to. Tulum. You need to go to Mexico. That same damn Walmart that you go to, that's in Mexico. Subway system in Mexico. Highways and roads. That's Mexico. It's not what you guys are thinking. When you see in the movies, it's all Mexico is all timber, is all woods, and I mean, it's all desert land. And you got all dried up plants everywhere. And coyote guys that are trying to make money, helping people get across the border. Y'all actually think that that's what Mexico is. Everybody just sitting down in Mexico, just sweating, no air conditioner, no police state. It's just cartel everywhere. You just, it's hot in Mexico, and everybody just taking siestas all day. They sold you that about Mexico. They sold you that. If it were me, I would have no problem with Mexico being. That's what surprised me about a lot of guys that are moving outside the United States. I do not know why Mexico is not on the list, higher on the list for a lot of people to live outside the United States. There are so many YouTubers, black YouTubers, that are putting out videos now of their lives in Mexico, and they are living the freaking dream. They are living the dream. in Mexico. I need to interview QB Passport. QB Passport flexing because he's always in Mexico. Todd says, it's too late for that. I have a condo here. And he's in love with Mexico. Shout out to you, man. And he also says that he says they got some really nice apartments down here in Mexico. Shout out to you. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm proud of you, brother. I really am. Really am. He said a lot of Indian companies are in Mexico. That's why Mexico passed up China for U.S. imports. But Trump and the Trumpeteers will continue to say China. Oh, I got to say it like Trump. China. All the imports that are coming in from China. So, yeah. Let's finish listening to what Americans are saying about cost of living in the greatest country. Does this sound like the greatest country when you listen to Americans talk? Is anything great about this? Panama's a great spot. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I agree. Let's bring this beat back a little bit.
I have a full-time job that years ago I could have raised a family on what I make. And it's like now I have to do side hustles, you know, to supplement my income because it's gotten so fucking expensive to live.
It's crazy you have to work like 75% of your life, like donate, give up 75% of your time pretty much just to literally survive, just to live. Not to live comfortably, not to live well, just to live.
And you're having people struggling over money, struggling over food, struggling over finding a place to live. What do you think you're going to expect from America? You're going to get more violence. You're going to get more people attacking other people. You're going to get more of the looting in different stores.
And then it's like I woke up all of a sudden and my insurance has doubled, food has fucking tripled, gas is so expensive, electric bill over double, my fucking rent went up. I can't be the only one that's drowning.
Everybody is going through this bullshit. Everyone. Can't go to Canada. Can't go to the UK. Everyone is dealing with just not being able to sustain life.
I've never had so little money in my entire life. All of my money goes towards my bills and food for me to eat. And half the time, I have to choose between filling my car with gas or eating.
Wish that I could just have a job and do my job and go to work every day, and it would just pay for life. It would pay for a roof over my head. It would pay for food on my table. It would pay for medical bills. It would pay enough for me to like save money so I could retire one day, you know, like basic things.
I am 36 years old and I have nothing to show for 20 plus years of work.
$70,000 a year, not enough? Is a bachelor's degree not enough? Is 2 jobs not enough? And the only thing we hear is we'll stop Starbucks and stop your brunches and your 3-day vacations. If you get up and take care of your house and take care of your friends and your family and your body and work 50 hours a week plus commuting, don't you think that person deserves a night out or a Sunday?
At what point is it literally just too expensive to live? Like when do we, because we keep on talking about it, we keep on talking about inflation, we keep on talking about salaries not meeting it, and we keep on talking about the minimum wage, and we keep on talking about all this stuff, but like at what point does that bubble burst? And it literally is just too expensive to be alive even if you're working a full-time job.
I'm so tired of this corrupt ass world, bro. It is fucked up. And this shit has to end now.
I found screenshots of what I was paying for rent in 2019 in my first apartment and what I was taking home from work. I knew this information, but just looking at it is so fucking unreal. Rent was $995 a month. And for context, if you know the area, I lived in Sandy Springs, Georgia, which is known for being like a really nice area. I was like 20 years old. I think I had just turned 20. I'm not even gonna lie, I was standing on big business. Like I felt like I was doing something. $11.27 a month by myself? Guys, I was making $16.83 an hour. and I could afford to live by myself. I mean, I wasn't living like a queen, but I could pay all my bills and eat out sometimes. These are my current utilities. Usually my rent is around $16.80 a month. Rent has gone up $500 a month. To be fair, I do make more than double than I was making before, but this is what lifestyle creep looks like. The cost of living goes up every time people make a little bit more money. I could punch somebody right now.
We're going to end that right there. So now you've heard from what our fellow Americans have had to say about cost of living in the United States. These were not foreigners talking. These were not just young people talking. It wasn't just males talking. It wasn't just female Americans talking. We love our country. We believe in American people. We believe in the American dream. We just believe that the American dream has to be fulfilled outside of America because it's too expensive to try to live the American dream while you're still in America. Some of you guys can pull it off, but you're still getting robbed. What do I mean by that? I mean by that, if you even make $100,000 a year, they're going to destroy you with the taxes. Where I already showed you where if you had that 100,000, you were making it outside of the United States, you get tax breaks for that. Not corporate tax breaks. I didn't look that up, but at least your private tax breaks you get. You pay more for medical, even though you're making 100,000 or 200, 500,000. Some of you guys are multimillionaires and you're getting robbed. If you as a millionaire in the United States and I broke in your house and I robbed you, would you not be offended? Then how the heck are you going to let corporations rob you and not be offended? Gas prices rob you and not be offended? All these other things that are taking place and you are a millionaire and yet you are not offended. But if I broke in your house and took with the same thing that corporations are taking from you, you're offended with me. But you're not offended with the corporations that you're paying overinflated prices for the meals that you're paying for millionaires. They are forcing Americans to downsize in the sense of you can't afford to upgrade. Americans are still taking money out and just blowing money on items that we don't even need. Yes, a nice pair of Jordan shoes or the latest LeBrons would be nice. But that's not the American way, is it? American way is 5 new pair of Jordans in a year. 10 brand new watches in a year. The most expensive colognes, not the clones like I get, but the originals that don't smell any different and they go get you the coochie any faster. That's the American way, to overspend. We've taken the last week out to look at, is America the greatest country in the world and the greatest country that ever existed? It's been said by the Roman Empire. They said that they were the greatest country that ever existed and the greatest country in the world. It was said by the British Empire that they were the greatest country that ever existed in the world. The Mongols said it, as well as the Japanese, the Mesopotamian, the Persians, the Babylonian Empire. Every empire said the exact same thing. We're the greatest ones in the world. And each one of them collapsed, not because of the enemy without, but because of the enemy within. So I want to say thank you guys for hanging out with your boy. Yes, sir. All empires collapse. All of them. There's not one empire that collapsed. That doesn't mean a country disappears and you're never going to see that country again. It means that it doesn't have the power, the staying power that it used to have at one point in time. All empires collapse. So you got a choice to ask. You got a question to answer yourself. In other words, to ask yourself, will you be a part of the collapsing empire? Or will you, with this one gift that you got called life, Start the process of building a whole new empire for you and your family, maybe in another country as an American, just like the rest of us. Someday, as I end this live stream, someday my great grandkids are going to thank me. The people that are going to, the guys that will marry my daughter will thank me. Somebody that marries or the education or the accomplishments of my great-great-grandson, he'll thank me. Maybe not directly, but in his answer, but in his ways and how he carries his life. So it is with you guys. You're talking about legacy. In the United States, it's hard to have an economic legacy, but you can build that legacy as an American in other geographical locations to where 5, 6, 7 generations from now, that house that you bought when you were in Belize, or that house that you bought when you were in Brazil, or even when you came to Colombia, that condo you purchased, well, that condo was able to take care of 2, 3 generations before they sold it and purchased another house. It's all up to us, gentlemen. It's all up to us. This live stream is not to criticize our country, because once again, we love the United States. It is our country. 'Tis of the sweet land of liberty. But at the end of the day, this channel is called Love Crossing Borders, where we help you find love across borders or fall in love with the borders that you cross. Shout out to all you guys that were here. Shout out to my man D Payne. He said America is trash. It's trash. He said America is backwards. Also, he said, but we have the audacity. I'm going to put in Andre's words, but we have the audacity to judge other countries. Shaking my head. As other countries are, there's a reason why they call Colombia, Peru, and other countries in Africa developing countries. You know why? Because we're developing while other countries are declining. Shout out to my man Victory. He said, hey Drake, one last thing. People come from miles around to see the freaks on the floor. All right, throwing down. There were mini skirts. All right, it's so easy. It's all right. Okay. He said camisoles, tight leather pants, or nothing at all. Classic songs, man. You're coming with the classic songs. I ain't mad at you, brother. I am not mad at you. All right. Shout out to you guys. You guys have a great evening. And I got a new drop for you guys. Yeah. Shout out to you guys. Brother from down under, he says, keep grinding and focusing on the bag, playing your escape. Yes, it is. Out of America. Classic hits. Yes, classic hits, Professor. Shout out to Professor, another brother that appreciates and enjoy his life in Mexico. So let's get ready to go with the outro. We're going to dedicate this outro to you guys. Let's see what we got. Let me turn the music off. And we're going to go with the outro.
Come on, come here, boy. Come on. You freaky dog. I don't need to analyze. Every word that comes out is a lie. Make it look like it's so ice. You won't make it to the finish line. Now if you gotta know the truth was gonna let you go. You was fine, never mind, unpredictable. Fade out of the ground, you ain't no one. You a star, blow it up like supernova. In the nighttime, hit my hotline. Sharing secrets, you was really was part your life. Basic bullets, with my bullets. Does your wifey know you're begging for my notice? Promise you're the same, running for the meds. Show you like my vibe, that's my candy on my wrist. Bad habits, little rabbit. Now sit down, you can have it. I see it when you walk my way. Nice big head, come on, play with me. Freaky dog, Give me a miracle. I need a syllable. Talking about big cash, that's the minimum. I'm done with this trash. Talk to be critical. Show me your mental state before we get physical. Pour some water in your cup, let it drip, drip, drip. Now look straight into my eyes, then you sip, sip, sip. It's about time that you shine. Take off that leash so that we can have some fun. I see it when you walk my way. Nice big bed, come and play with me. Pick it up, got a whole lot of love from the vibe. I see it when you walk my way. Nice big bed, come and play with me. Pick it up, now show how picky you are. I see it when you walk my way. Nice big bed, come and play with me. Pick it up, got a whole lot of love from the vibe. Pick it up, got a whole lot of love from the vibe.
Perfect. Perfect.